Hey guys, welcome to Mr. Mayhem Movies Vault of Mayhem. This is something.
All two of you that are going to watch this.
We're not even going to watch it.
I'm the only one who's going to watch this.
This is just something that we wanted to do where we're going to talk about all these projects that we have wanted to make over the years but never got around to. So this is kind of like us making them finally.
Yeah, there is a lot of...
It's like the equivalent of a sitcom clip show.
A lot of our...
But all the worst episodes that never aired.
Yeah, this is we had a lot of our stuff, and like the No movie was like one of the most blatant examples where us sitting around like, hey, we should do this, and just add stupid stuff. The No movie kept going and turned into a thing,
it ended up, like,
but there's a lot of stuff that didn't build up
does not get far.
or we pushed off to the back burner.
Or got rejected by, famous people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Anyway.
we'll get to all of that. So I'm Sean Scott. We're with Shane Scott and Keith Hansz. We're just three people who run Mr. Mayhem Movies.
We're the board of directors, I guess.
Yeah.
Until we hostily take over and kick Keith out.
Yeah.
Then you'll need
We get a majority vote. So without further ado, I guess we'll start with the movies we got. So the first thing is we're gonna start with some very early projects that it was kind of like this is us filming before we were Mr. Mayhem Movies, so it would have been like years before we met Keith. So this would have been like elementary school. I want to say.
God, there is some weird, this wasn't even. This was just weird stuff.
So
you could tell it came from like a middle school's brain.
it's not good stuff. But first up was something called the Shane and Nic.
Oh, R.I.P.
films.
Well, those were filmed on a slide phone that I had, and I think
So
maybe one or two might have been on a actual like little camera, but those were just us, and it was me and like one of my best friends at the time,
Nic Stacy.
We had a falling out. We're cool, Nick. If you're watching this, we're cool. You can hit me up anytime. But we had a falling out, so that's why there's been no Shane and Nick in the future, which I don't think there would have been anyway. But it was basically, I'm trying to think of like two, like not Jay and Silent Bob, but like two morons, and it was just weird.
Bill and Ted.
Yeah, Bill and Ted's probably.
Bill and Ted. Before we saw Bill and Ted.
It wasn't raunchy, so I guess Bill and Ted. It was just us being retarded, and there was like Shane and Nick.
There was 3 episodes. 2 we filmed.
Yeah.
So these are like lost films because we don't have them anywhere. 2 we filmed.
I do have them. They are on but they were filmed on those slide phones. So when I put them into my computer to try to watch them, they sped them up like 3 times. So instead of like us talking like this, it's like
I can probably slow it down. I look like crap.
I'll have to figure out where they're at.
We'll see.
The frames are probably gone, but I can try and slow it down.
So they're actually funnier to watch like that because you look even more retarded. And it was just us doing stupid stuff. Like one of them was
the 2 that we filmed. There was Shane and Nick in the army.
that was me and Nick joined the army.
I was like,
and Sean was a drill sergeant. That was interesting. I think we ended up beating you up at one point.
Yeah, no, there was also one point I remember you guys like doing your like push-ups and stuff, and I was like, you were just talking like back to me, and it was just about me getting very angry at you guys. And then the other one was Shane and Nick go to Russia. We filmed a lot of stuff for.
Yeah, I think that's the one I actually have some of the videos for.
That was like the sequel, I think.
The whole reasoning that we went to Russia was because it was snowing out, and we're like, Russia snow, because all of Russia has snow all the time.
I remember there was a joke of like Nick calling like the embassy trying to get out of there, and he was like acting all night like, oh yeah, thank you for taking my call. And it's like, oh, that's something. And it's like, yeah, they're not coming when he hangs up.
Well, at this point, he's like, oh, thank you, love you too, bye. And then hangs up. And then he was just like...
I remember I had a bunch of friends, like Timmy Lyons, and some elementary school friends, who happened to be there the day we were filming, so they were like locals chasing you guys around.
Oh yeah, well, that was one part we were running away from the local population.
Great stuff.
Yeah, it's really...
Genesis of Mr. Mayhem Movies.
I think Nick hit Timmy with a chair. If I remember correctly, there's this like plastic chair there, and like we're running, and Nick like picked it up. You could see it in one frame, just throw it and hit him in the head, and he went down. So
it's a great film. And then there was also Shane and Nick go to Area 51. We wanted to film, but never did.
That's really actually like on topic these days.
Yeah, but this was like over.
Yeah,
this was years before that.
Yeah, it was like we go into Area 51, we find an alien. I think
like the joke was the army, because it was like continuation of the army. The army kept saying, "Oh, there's no aliens," and then aliens would just pop up in the background everywhere.
Oh yeah, that was it.
We were like, "Is an alien?"
Yeah, it's just like we're there. So it's like, "Oh, there's aliens." Like, "Oh no, there's not." And then one's like, you hear like gunshots. One goes running, goes in front like, "Ah!" and then runs away. And there's like 2 guys chasing them. And then it was just like, what was that? Oh, that was like a dog.
The alien mask is something we already have, but it was used again as the Ood in the Xeris Doctor. And
James always called it a nut or a ball
There's
sack.
actually an extended joke about it.
And then
that probably should be
the ball
cut.
sack and the snuff set, and also in the Chronicles of Ripon, the third one, Ripon. It's the thing that was in the darkness the entire time.
The alien came back.
This is a connection to Mr. Mayhem Movies.
Those were probably
Not because we reused props.
We just happened to have.
Yeah, those were fun videos. They were retarded, and they're probably not even remotely funny.
No.
Those would have been ones I would have been interested maybe making shorts of, like now, if I was still friends with him.
Yeah, because we'd be able to actually do
Like
it.
I said, Nick, hit me up, we're cool. But, like, it would have, like, it would have been something, it would not have been like, they were actually only, like, clips, but yeah.
Yeah.
I would have loved to go back to those, because those were fun.
It was just us goofing around.
Because see, that was us goofing around. Then we got into more horror movies, and now we're still kind of like at the dark.
I don't know what we're doing.
Comedy.
Yeah.
Like we've done actually a lot with comedic stuff. Which
This is like the beginning of comedy. And so pretty much with these, right now I'm pretty sure they're lost. But if Shane still has some of them, we'll play them for you guys.
if we could even slow them down.
So
if not, they might be funny.
They might be funny to watch.
Because it's just like I look stupid. Like I remember, I don't know if we used that hat.
We used the hat again. It was Simpleton Flint's hat.
Simpleton Flynn's hat.
In Hiroshima.
In Hiroshima, it's like an obnoxious looking, like flat brimmed hat that has like the
more connections.
I know, right? It has the zodiac signs on it. It was like my gangster hat I bought for like when I thought I was a little gangster. Actually, I bought it kind of to do this type of stuff with because I thought it looked hilarious. It's way too small on me now, but that hat was like the one I'd wear backwards, and I had longer hair then too, so it was a interesting look. Nick looked bad. We all looked little. Like if you looked at our early stuff, even on here, we looked even littler than that. It was like middle school. Sean, you might have even been in.
I might have been
elementary school. Yeah.
So that was the Shane and Nick trilogy.
Good times.
Nick, I'm never letting you pick the vacation spot again.
But why? Russia's so beautiful.
Well, first there's lots of snow, it's cold, and they have commies.
That's why we're here. We're gonna kill the commies.
No, Nick!
Yeah, oh, Nick! Oh my God!
Don't ever kill the dog again! No! 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 Ow, ow. Oh, thank you.
Oh, ow! Hey,
We were in Russia.
Ow! Ow! One in Russia. Don't lock the triggers because they are horny.
Well, I did.
Hey, why don't we just do this?
Did you want it to look cool?
No.
I wanted to feel like a real commando.
Well, I got a pricker in my leg.
I got it in my butt. You want some of me?
You okay?
Why do you carry those airsoft guns? Oh, they don't work. You shot me with an airsoft.
After that, we did a thing where we never actually. This is a continuation of like the Shane and Nick era.
Okay, I wasn't sure if this was going to get brought
But
up.
it's.
Is this the best customer?
Yeah, it's the best customer. It's basically I have it down as the Untitled Asian Vendor skit.
Oh God, I never thought about this. Is the original
Asian
white guy
voice.
doing a Asian voice. That is awful.
Shane-
This is went back.
Shane was the Asian vendor at some marketplace. I was the best customer who always came in and bought stuff. And
I had a pet chicken named Dudley.
and yeah,
As one would.
and then Nick
It was a toy. It was my dog toy. I don't even know where it's at.
I don't remember what Nick was. He just came in and like he would
He was
kill
drunk.
the best. Yeah,
He was
kill
a
the
drunk
best
guy that would
customer.
like come in through the door. I may have.
And you would throw Dudley the chicken
once
at
did.
him.
I'd be like, you can best customer. It was awful. I mean,
It was so offensive.
like now we only do the Asian stuff in like as satire and like,
but-
hey, this is what shows like, especially like Doctor Who, these stuff did back then. But back then it was just, I mean, I didn't understand it was insensitive because we had Asian friends. And they thought it was funny. So we were like, but you never saw me, it was a POV. And then I had a thing I call a jongbong, which is Korean for,
of course.
I don't know what it's Korean for, but it's a big stick. So maybe it's Korean for big stick. I don't know. But it was like a big thing because I did martial arts for a long time. So it was like a big stick. And I would basically like be walking around and like he'd come drunkenly into the store and like, and then he'd like hit Sean.
Always kill the best customers.
He's like, oh, you killed best customer. And then it was awful. I apologize.
It actually mainly consisted of Shane just saying the line, "You killed my best customer,"
and just saying Asian stuff. It's bad. I never thought about like how bad that was. Like I apologize. Like we do satire now. That was just being I think funny's funny. So if everyone just could laugh at each other and laugh at themselves, it'd be a better world. That's my stance. But and it was just like, I'm trying to say what we're doing, but I don't want to use the Asian thing. But I'd be going around and I'd be trying to get him out. I'm like hitting him with the stick and like doing this, and he'd like take Dudley and I'd chase him around. But it was awful.
It was all done in this room too. All right, finally we get Keith into the picture with something called The Adventures of Super Sean.
This was we
have
have this one. This was a school project actually, where it was 6th grade like English class. They had us like learning about onomatopoeias, which is that really a topic for 6th graders?
I guess so.
I feel like it's for like 4th and like 2nd
but
graders.
it is.
Then make a movie. So we made one it's completely silent film. And
the funny part about that is, Sean back then never talked.
So it was fine for silent film.
Sean went through a period in
6th
which
grade.
he just didn't talk. And didn't talk at all. It was just
the reason I didn't talk is because I didn't want like people to talk to me in 6th grade. So like maybe if I don't talk to people, they won't talk to me. So I stopped, and then I became so popular.
I did basically hit a kid once for making.
But in that one, I played the villain.
See, it's just,
and I think my weapon was I took a ball of yarn and I wrapped it around my arm.
Was this before you were really friends with Keith too?
I mean, I wasn't really friends with you guys.
This was the first time I had.
The first time I ever met with
See,
him.
it's just funny how that they're in this silent film together,
and it's just awful. But it's a project made by middle school.
Is that something we could put on our Mr.
I have the video.
I don't think anybody would have a problem with that.
We'll include the video.
It's harmless.
It is not a
6th grade project.
Like it's just funny to look back.
So unbelievably
stupid. You can look back on Keith and Sean, before even Mr. Mayhem Movies, they've put together and made a movie.
The Adventures
movie. I think Sean dies in it.
Yeah, I die at the end. And then there's really sad music.
There's like a funeral. It's a whole thing.
We're talking out way more than it's awesome. It is.
It's hilarious to look back on.
But I would say this is the earliest surviving thing fully put together. Because if there is any Asian vendors or Shane and Nick, they're not full things edited together. This is the first thing we did together.
Mr. Fiore edited it together for us.
But it's awful. You can watch it though, so judge it. don't judge us.
I hope we got an A. I don't remember what we got on it.
Oh, it was 6th grade. We probably got an A.
I'm
just
pretty
for
sure
filming
having
something.
one. Yeah.
So, this is before Mr. Mayhem Movies still, but I still consider this to be getting to Mr. Mayhem Movies.
Oh, okay.
This was our first attempt at Retribution. It was made for a film festival.
Was that our first one?
I would say it's the first time we tried to do
A movie,
Retribution.
like a movie.
Yeah.
Like an actual movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God.
It was both of our freshman
Maybe,
year of
possibly,
high school.
hypothetically, somewhere there are clips.
We don't know where they are, though.
I thought I saved them onto something, but I had a hard drive crash, so they very well might be gone. Who knows? Jack might have had them saved on an SD card, and one day will give it to us. He finds it in his old room. I don't know, but I highly doubt you're ever going to see clips from it.
So it's probably lost.
Because I was going to be the one
The
editing
remake's
it.
better.
Remake is much better. So it was the original Retribution. We talked about it in another special feature somewhere, but just really briefly, it was Jack Silver, who ended up cameo in the main movie, as like the guy dancing to the...
See, goodbye, horses. I'm flying over you. Goodbye, horses. Flying over you.
Yeah.
The
song on
Retribution,
TV.
the one that we actually got and made, has so many callbacks to this one that no one's going to understand but like us.
Pretty much all the original actors show up one way or another as a voice or
Yeah.
seen as a
It had our friend, what's his name? Because this is
Justin Bell,
Yeah.
Zach Novak,
The alternative
Ian.
voices. Ian
Yeah.
was a video clip.
Donovan.
Yeah, Ian,
Logar.
like, and so we tried to incorporate
and
because
Jackson.
they weren't our main, like, by then we weren't really like, we weren't talking to them, but we
Donovan was
weren't
in
like,
Retribution.
He was originally going to be, but then we cut his character and replaced it with Ian, a different character, different death.
yeah. That movie was hilarious to try to get together. We shot a lot.
It was for a film festival our freshman year. It was the last year of the
School,
film.
it was a school
Yeah.
film festival,
Ah.
and I know for a fact it would have not been
No.
allowed to be played there. And then Sean was going to be like, well, then that makes it look better.
Yeah, like this is a movie rejected by the film festival. Everyone's going to want to see it.
But like,
Only half of it was filmed.
all the, like, I was in it too. So, oh God. And then it was funny because we were, we weren't really friends. I mean, we were friends with them. We didn't talk to or, like, they weren't actually helping us with movies. But we made sure we contacted them and tried to bring them back in a way. Like, Ian's in
Even
it.
just a voice, or even
Yeah.
just with Ian, we just
Zach
reused
Novak
footage
plays,
from Damage Control Straight.
Zach Novak plays, like, the dad voice.
the voice.
And, like, so that's a little thing in there. Did we, anything with Justin Bell?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
does
he did
the
a voice.
joke, that's a funny joke, Jimmy, but it doesn't fix the TV.
that's an inside joke to an
Background.
inside joke. But,
So what also we did was the new Retribution. So the original Retribution had similar kills, but it was so much more tame. Like, I'll just use one example. There's a point where my character in the new one gets a bunch of nails in my head. In original, it's just one nail straight through the door.
yeah,
and
he's
someone
like got his head against the
Yeah.
door, and it's just like boom. It was going to be an easy shot, and
We filmed that.
That alone,
That we did film.
That alone would have probably got us not into
Yeah.
the film festival. A nail going into somebody's skull.
And then there was a time when we were all sitting talking on the porch. We filmed, but the audio was awful.
that was see, and it made no sense.
That was the first time I
Like,
helped with the movie.
Yeah, 'cause that was the first time Keith was there, and
He had cue cards.
They couldn't remember their lines, so because it was a found footage, which it wasn't supposed to be.
They
but
were
then
all the rage
One of
back
our
then.
partners in the movie,
Jack Silver.
he didn't want. He's like, "Oh, we need to do found footage. You're using my camera. We're gonna do found footage." And then we're like, "Okay," and it just made it weird feeling. So like, it was just me holding the camera for most of it. So I'm behind the camera. I'm the brother of.
Shane was the only person to play the exact same character in the new Retribution. You were the brother of the main.
Oh yeah,
The only person to play
different
the exact-
spin
yeah.
when I played it this time.
But you were the only person
But-
to stay in the same room.
But you could hear behind me, like I'm filming and I'm saying my line, and Keith is behind me with big cue cards because I couldn't remember.
you heard the cue cards really well.
Yeah.
Because he was
The
right
audio
next
was
to me.
bad, everything else, but the cue cards you heard really
And then all of a sudden it's like, what's that? We look over and Jack comes behind the tree like, goodbye, ho.
So maybe Jack did technically play the same character
Yeah.
again.
But now I look back and I was like,
It was awful.
that just took you out of the movie. What the heck? We found a way to incorporate it, obviously.
Yeah, it was just
So
an
yeah,
awful film.
Jack, he wasn't in the movie besides that one.
He would have been the opening kill, so
Oh.
it wouldn't have made any sense that he showed up.
But like, it it was a train wreck. They had the same problems. We couldn't get people to show up.
Yeah, that's why.
Oh, we shot it out of order, and this is why we don't do this anymore. We shot an ending part with me and Justin Bell where he gets killed. Like, you don't see it, it's off screen, but you hear a chainsaw start off. And then we shot an earlier scene, but between those 2 times, he got a mohawk.
And dyed it, bleached it.
And we're just saying, like, it's not going to work.
But we just kept on trucking, and then we failed.
Funny thing about the original Retribution, though, is there a way we could pop just a quick picture up right now? Quick picture of the killer. If you took the killer, kinda, and separated them, it turns into one's Inferno, one's Skullface.
Yeah.
You got you use the same hoodie, right?
Same Skullface hoodie.
Yeah, he's the hoodie because he wore just like you saw jeans, the hoodie, and a gas mask because we really wanted a gas mask killer, and it was hilarious because honestly you could see where like this embryo of the 2 killers split.
The baseball bat, I believe, is the same one in the No movie.
Yeah, it is.
We
use everything.
It was just funny though because like different type of gas masks. They use like an old Russian one that you have to like.
Yeah, it wasn't the one
plastic, and then like for when James played Inferno. It was just an Israeli one. It was easy to put up. Like that one, like this one was easy to put on. I'm sure it sucked wearing it so much. But the other one was like had like it was old like Soviet Union, so it was like elastic, and it just like it pulled on your hair.
It was also 2 sizes too small, so it hurt to put on. I was a killer back then.
Yeah, and it was hilarious because you could look at that and just see where it split off, and it was like, oh, so they were there all along.
That was the original Retribution. We talked about it more before, but that's just a more condensed version of what the original was. So, this is something we had a fake band a real band called Repulsive Cocks that we tried to make. Shane was a singer, I was a drummer.
If you guys want to pull up a few pictures right now, I
can think of a couple that'll be good.
Yeah, I have a few pictures of Repulsive.
I was eventually brought on just because I was there as, I think, tambourine.
We're still looking for a bassist and a guitarist.
But we got tambourine covered. So.
Basically, the band never worked with this thing, but we were called the Repulsive Cocks.
We got everybody together for it one time.
But
it was me, Sean drums, me vocals. Nothing really came of that day, but it was the first time. Jack was bass, and my friend Corey Rupar was.
I hung out with that man one time 7 years ago.
He's a cool guy. Yeah, he was one of my better friends in high school.
So we were a band that really never happened.
So like one day, but it's like nothing came of it. But
we did film a music video where Shane then put different music to it.
Yeah,
but
restarts.
It was so maybe we can show this and just without the music, we just put our own music in there. But what we did, so I think that video survived.
Yeah, it's on my Dropbox. That's why I still have it.
Okay, we'll see if we have it. But with this video, it was basically I was pretty much doing all the filming, but Shane and Jack were like wearing punk stuff asleep outside.
Corey was more of a he just said I could do guitars until you guys find somebody. So that's kind of like he wasn't like in it unless he ever wanted to be. Never, because it was right when we got everybody together that Jack started like not wanting to be like stop being all punky and stop like wanting to go to like listen to punk music. He stopped hanging out with us.
Yeah.
I don't think it had to do with the music. I think it was something else. So it could have been something. It just kind of fell apart right there. But yeah, we were shooting stuff for a music video. So there's a lot. It was
at our elementary school, but in the way back at the baseball.
We weren't in elementary school.
Yeah, it wasn't too creepy because we were still young enough that we weren't like graduated from high school.
Oh, we went there now.
Yeah, that would be creepy. They were both pretty much just waking up, just doing stuff. Like you saw me once, I remember wearing a bandana. We all have our spiky vests on. And it looks like a normal low budget music video for a punk band. Like it feels like it would fit.
We took a lot from a music video from the Spiky Brads because me and Jack's Japanese, like half Japanese, so we got really into like Korean and Japanese bands. So we took one of their music videos and the like sleeping on the thing kind of came from that.
It was, but it's interesting.
This is still alive.
But it's just something we did. It was something we edited together. So it was one of the first things we actually had clips together. But honestly, it wasn't much of a thing because there was no music to go along with it. So that sums us up better.
Yeah.
Like it was halfway there, but there's a huge important thing we just don't get. before it was the untitled Repulsive Cocks music video, but we did technically make a song for Repulsive Cocks called James Bull.
What a fool. We have this.
We still have this one.
He's like our best friend, so I mean, this was us making fun of him.
It was Jack on bass, kind of doing like the main singing. I was doing a little bit of drum, but I was just like using my foot. And Shane was kind of like the cheerleader in the back. We would like say a line, and then Shane would like say another one, like dancing across the screen.
Like I just be coming across the screen like, and then there's like once I'm like. Like
it was
like that.
So weird.
We have that.
But we found the video, so we'll just let it play so you guys can see it. So it's not really a lost video. It is like lost and found, but it's a bad song. But if you know James, at the time it was hilarious.
It's not really relevant to him anymore.
No, but it was like Repulsive Cocks' only song.
The Repulsive Cocks present James Bull. James Bull, what a fool! Killed my sister and raped my dog. James Bull, what a fool! Drinks his own piss like a man named Chris. James Bull eats his own stool. Push a cat in the pool. James Bull likes to play like might be gay. We're not sure. We're not sure. So the next one is, we don't really have a name for it, so I just gave it a working title. I called it The Boring Witch Project.
Wait, is this the Witch Project?
God. This was almost
is that what we call it?
Are you referring to the video that was filmed at the campground?
Yeah.
Oh, it's at the end of it, James calls it the Blair Bitch Project.
Alright, so
I don't think he was thinking very deeply about that.
I forgot about
it's
that,
not it's not a movie, it's a romp through the woods that we filmed.
This do you have the thing I did on my phone with this on here?
I don't know.
This is a video that you filmed.
We found this and we'll play it.
And we played it at the campground, and it's literally just us fucking around the woods, and then at the end, James finds a bird's nest, breaks it, and says, Blair Bitch Project. And I think we were looking for the Blair Witch during the thing.
It was
okay. We saw this neighborhood or like campsite. We thought we'd go in it, and it's abandoned.
Look how abandoned that is. I'm the guy with the camera. I live the longest, you know, so we get everything. When I die, the movie's over.
But if you have sex, you definitely die.
He will not die. There's our buddy. We don't know why
He's paranoid. There's problems.
He likes penis. He likes penis a lot.
Okay.
Guys, I have a feeling the witch doesn't want us on the property. You probably can't read that. It says no hunting or trespassing without written permission.
It says now.
Guys, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. No, legitly.
We're in West Virginia.
Born and raised with a playground I spent most of my days. Champing on that and napkins on the cool and shooting some b-ball outside of my school. I'm good. We found our way out. This is the end of the log. Stargate 451. B-A-D.
Blair Witch Paint. Blair Witch Paint.
I feel this has changed all of us. In here.
This is the Blair Witch Paint. It tracked. Whoa. We didn't find a Blair Witch, but we found something much better. Bird's nest.
That's nasty. Okay. The Blair Witch Scouts out.
So, the reason I included it is because this is like the earliest James involvement. Because he was not part of Retribution. And James
this was at our campground. We're just running in the woods. Next one up is something that was never filmed. No script was written about it. It
It was just an idea. It was called Punks of the Living Dead.
This was I love the concept because we actually before this, I don't know if we're going to talk about it. There was
This was actually, to me, I think this came first.
Yeah, this might have came first.
There was a zombie story we wanted to make later that we'll get to, but Punks of the Living Dead was the first time we wanted
No,
to
I'm not talking about the zombie story.
Oh, what was the one you were talking about?
It was related to Punks of the Living Dead, but it was just like a punk. It was supposed to be Punks of the Living Dead was inspired by Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
Because there was like a bunch of punk rockers surviving the zombie apocalypse, you know. Then there was something like that. It was basically a knockoff of that with I wanted similar characters of Salt Lake City punks, and like I made jokes about like the reindeer and stuff.
Yeah.
I apologize. There was like I'd wear like a bondage belt and like studded
Very
belts.
jiggly.
And I jingly, so there was like a lot of jokes. Like somebody would be like, "Ah, look, like, do I hear a reindeer in here? Ding, 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 boom!" And I hit him with like a baseball bat. That was that type of stuff. It didn't coalesce.
They were just ideas.
Yeah, it didn't coalesce as much as Punks of the Living Dead.
Honestly, Punks.
Did we even have any other ideas besides punk people surviving?
No, like I remember it would start with.
I would still be open to doing this.
One girl I was gonna have be in it, and it would be like what the main character was vying his affection for. But at the same time, there was like two of the punks were stoners.
Yeah.
And I remember it was just different personalities, strong personalities.
See, I'd be very into
ties.
Yeah, I would be very into actually doing a short or doing something with this because I always like the idea of doing more like punk people like stuff in movies. It was a funny idea. I would love to do a short maybe about it. Or like, cause I mean that zombie movies are a problem, and we have a few on here that are zombie movies.
You can't really film a zombie.
Yeah,
it's too hard.
Skeleton crew.
You need extras, which is literally the one thing we can't do.
Before that, we before me and Sean really got into slasher movies, the first horror movies we were obsessed with were zombie movies. So that's kind of where a lot of these come from, and then we turned towards like slashers later on, and that's where we got these movies from.
This would have been when we get
zombies were our like thing. Like I read like I was reading World War Z like 15 times. I love that book. We watch
Survival Guide.
Yeah, I remember you lent that to me during exams in 6th grade.
Yeah, Zombie
Every time I
Survival
finished a
Guide.
test, I'd read that.
We'd watch like Ramiro stuff like crazy.
You were around when we started watching Return of the Living Dead, right?
Yeah,
good
like,
ones. Great.
Like this was early middle school. Like I was in middle school when we were really into zombie movies.
Well, you were definitely still watching them when I should.
Yeah, we were still like slashers. I think Keith was around when we started really getting into slashers because
I remember we watched one of the first ones you ever showed me was the Victor Crowley or the Hatchet.
Yeah.
That might have been the first horror movie I ever saw.
It was so like this you could sell like I was really into punk stuff too, still am, but it was a kind of a weird combination. This is before Mr. Mayhem movie. Oh no, this was before.
These are the little projects before our first.
Yeah, and it was like because like
movies.
If we had the people, we would have attempted this. That's what would have happened. But like we said, zombie movie. You need more. Like that's why a zombie movie for us could work as a short clip. Not clip, but like very short movie.
Small amount of pumps,
10 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to be fair, we solved the zombie problem by turning them into gnomes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially, like like with a zombie
Literally,
angle.
the story was like
something
zombie
we could do in the
vampire.
future if we want to do zombie. You get like 3 zombies, and like
Gnomes of the Living Dead.
Ooh,
I'm in.
that was just a thing.
Punks of the Living Gnomes.
I got a lot.
Oh my god,
Punks of the Living Gnomes.
They're all punk gnomes.
But like
Add that.
it was hilarious because we don't have the people. It would have been like we'll talk about one that we actually did more into later.
Yeah,
but this one was just a concept. We realized like we don't have the people. I'm sure we could figure out a way now with like skeleton crew.
There's just more stuff we want to do.
Yeah.
More important stuff.
I would be open in the future to trying a very short thing
I like
with
short
this.
shorts.
I do too.
We're talking about movies.
I do. Shiny doesn't let me wear them in public because she thinks they're too short. Anyway, but this was something I was really like interested in doing. I think more of my creative efforts went towards the one that was non-zombies because we could do that. But like this would be something like a short, maybe down the line, maybe who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? If you're watching this,
if you get the reference of who knows, that's really sad.
I'm sorry for you. All right, so this is the first thing that we actually kind of like filmed differently. It wasn't like one continuous video. It's something we filmed, but it is lost. It is the one thing I wish we still had.
Okay.
It's the last fact.
I would trade all of Damage Control 1
I
and 2
want to
footage for this.
say, I want to say it has to be somewhere.
It wasn't a story,
No, that
but
was
what
a great
happened
story.
was
This was us being stupid,
It
so don't get
began-
us all offended about it.
yeah, when we
If
younger
they
we
got
played on
offended,
it.
they did not get this far into this
Yeah, that's true.
We offend people.
It was we used to play Army a lot when we were younger. We were playing Army still. Wait until we were way too.
We were
old.
like, I was a
Yeah.
freshman.
Then we're playing Airsoft,
Yeah.
where we're all in Army
So,
stuff.
what
Then again,
happened
that's only like
was
13 years
I
ago.
was recording I was like up the hill, and I was just like kind of like recording them doing stuff down there, and I did like a monologue about how, and I don't know why I did this, about how we're going after James. He's the last fag alive, and we need to kill him. Man, that's awful to say.
Yes, apparently in this world, every other
like
gay man
I
is
said earlier with the
Except James.
the Asian restaurant guy, this
Yeah,
stuff was
this is
like
worse.
offensive, but this was like so long ago. Please don't be offended.
So-
we would never do that now. That's awful.
But we did it back then. It didn't survive, so you won't see it. Then it's
somewhere.
pretty much
I like
James
it.
and Shane, and also me recording. But James, Shane and Keith trying to kill James, tracking him down. I remember there was a
He had
point
a golf,
where
he was driving the golf cart.
This is getting worse every time you bring up what's going on.
there was a part I remember where we
I'm
had Shane like pointed a gun at me and said like, now I'm gonna like take over and I'm in charge.
Weird
and like who's
coup.
gonna stop me? And then Keith the whole time Shane's saying as was walking in the background at him and just pointed a gun at him in the back.
Also, my outfit was a bandana over one eye.
This was the first,
I guess I had a
This
word
was the
injury.
first time Keith was ever actually like in our movies.
Yeah.
This wasn't being shot.
What a
to
great
make a movie,
opening
though.
rendition.
This is us being stupid.
I remember, it wasn't a movie, but I remember another time when we finally got James, we executed him by getting on his knees and shot him, but then he fell down, didn't he like smack his head?
Well, no, he didn't
His
shoot
knee.
him. I had the Mace Windu lightsaber.
Oh, of course.
And
he's the
because
last-
that's on wood.
See,
So I cut off his head, but since he was blindfolded, he
well,
smacked it on my
Keith
shin.
moved a little forward, so
Yeah.
James, before he banned it, he's like, okay, I can do this and be fine. Keith moved a little forward to
He
do it.
smacked his head on my shin.
You just see his head go, boom!
But that's pretty much all there is to it.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
yeah,
was
we
dumb.
an official apology for Mr. Mayhem Movies.
Wait, we're apologizing for something
I'm
that doesn't
sorry.
exist.
Yeah, you guys can't see it.
Sorry.
This next one is something called the Dr. Maurice Tinklebottom interview. It began,
I want to say this is somewhere.
as of right now, it's lost.
Yeah, it's like I said, I never deleted stuff off an SD card because I always wanted a backup, and that's actually how I still have all my stuff because my hard drive crashed, and I was like, crap, but I had all my SD card. This one, I have no idea where it's at. We might find it someday.
It actually started as a photography project where Shane had to shoot photos.
Yeah, I had to shoot photos, and actually I have one or two pictures of James.
Do you
maybe
have
one.
these?
Pictures.
It should be a picture.
I didn't know I had the pictures though.
We'll show you guys. some
That would be
pictures.
awesome.
I'm trying to think. There's got to be one. There's one on my computer. It should be on yours, but I'll figure out where it is. It's
I know, like,
him
he-
as Maurice Tinklebottom, and I had to take pictures with an actual like film camera for school, and the whole thing was Keith was dressed up as a hippie. James was
Like a hermit living on
Yeah,
the
James was
Under
a
the trestle track.
What Mr. Maurice Tinklebottom began as? He was a hermit living under a train tracks in this little alcove
the
back.
jacket was something like our grandfather had that we found in our basement, and also the hat was just a Halloween costume our parents had from years ago. Strew it together, did the photo shoot, but then after that we were like, hey, we kind of want to do an interview. So it was not the office you see in Alaskan Ed.
It's hilarious because he has like a rock and he's chasing after Keith at one point. And my teacher was like, "This is exactly what I expect from you." When I tell you to do a few, like do a whole scene worth of stuff in a picture, and you do this, I'm like, yeah. But then we developed the character more by naming him,
Dr.
and we were out in this
Tinklebottom.
weird little closet like thing in my parents' basement. And James is there as Maurice Tinklebottom, and this is where we developed Eric Queerheim that I want to use.
Well, you might see him eventually, but as of right now,
Yeah, I want to use him later on in something. But
he was an interviewer.
yeah, he's a journalist, and he was doing an interview on Maurice Tinklebottom. And this is
Why
where
was Maurice Tinklebottom famous originally?
there's a lot of offensive
Was it something
stuff.
to do with him? Right? He was on. He had a Wheaties box. Was he on the cover?
No, like
He wrote something about Jewish people.
Yeah, he wrote a lot of the stuff we used him and like Alaskan Ed and stuff came kind of like you can see it coming together.
I think he did write like the history of Jews.
Yeah, and it was just,
there's a whole chapter of just about black people in here, James.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah, that was just like, and we're like, what? He's like, I think he said like something along like, come on, but like it was hilarious because he's just this very inept professor, which you could see it was developed even more, and like. He had like something with Aunt Jemima, I forget.
Yeah, he had an obsession with
you have this little
yeah, and I called it
old Aunt Jemima like syrup dispenser in there.
That shows up in the Zero's Doctor.
That's the same one.
Even in the Zero's Doctor, his business card said he's the vice president of the Aunt Jemima
He's
fan
big
club.
on Aunt Jemima, and it's just because he picked it up and said Aunt.
And by like he does like cocaine at one point
during the
that's where
the joke came from.
Yeah, and there's like a point where he like comes on to me. So
yeah, he asked if you wanted any drugs, and you're like, oh no, thank you. And you said something about like it'll cost you. Like, oh no, I don't have any money. Like no,
it'll cost you. And I'm like, oh no. And then like so like the whole like drugs and all this stuff was from that.
I remember how it ended. It was Shane looks into the restaurant and is like, hey, Tinklebottom, what's that up there? Like, oh, that's the last journalist. And Shane pulls down a severed leg and he just looks at the camera and it stops. That's some early comedy for us. If you look in the background of The Office for Maurice Tinklebottom, there's a duffel bag of severed limbs sticking out that you don't see
I
well.
think Eric Queerheim died there.
Yeah, that's Eric Queerheim in there.
There is something I want to use him in the future, so he may come back.
We'll see.
Can he come back without an arm?
If like, it's just funny to look back on that because that kind of almost spawned a movie and a half.
Yeah. Kind of. This was an important.
Did this happen after the original Retribution, or before? I think it was.
We're going in chronological.
The original Retribution would have been like winter, and this would have been like spring.
Yeah. So that was just something that I wish we still had, but sadly it's gone. Next video we had was something we called the Shackler.
The Shackler is a freaking awesome idea that I've wanted. We had different ideas of what the Shackler was going to be like, though, so that's why there's some interestingness with it. But the Shackler is mostly my thing because it actually came to coalesce.
I came up with the name. There was a Guns N' Roses song called Shackler's Revenge. Or
yeah,
like that.
and what's a shackler mean?
I like to think he goes around with those prison shackles.
Yeah, that's what I envisioned.
And he either wears them or puts them on his victims.
See, I'm gonna explain what I saw the shackler.
So there's two ideas Kane and I had, but they're only ideas.
But both of them were more or less like a Freddy Krueger personality.
Mine was.
Oh, mine was. Well, mine was a Freddy Krueger making jokes, kind of raunchy maybe at times. But it was almost
something about like an Indian.
Yeah, it was like we were gonna be shot in James's mom's backyard,
where everything
else we ever shot was, and it was this Native American demon that Native Americans have
we don't have a good track history with demons.
Yeah, did or
being called
did their whole thing and heroically sealed this demon back up, and now it's owned by stupid white people hundreds of years.
Classic poltergeist.
Yeah, and it was just gonna be they did something. I didn't think this one
dug too deep.
They messed up with their thing.
Find the shackles.
And it releases the Shackler, and he's this wisecracking demon that horribly. I always like the idea of a demon that's Now I didn't see Pennywise at this time, but he's essentially Pennywise.
Well, I think I prefer demons that make weird noises and uncover their true self.
Yeah, the true self of demons.
But it was hilarious because for me I like the idea of this. It's Pennywise. I didn't see Pennywise at the time, but he's essentially if you mix Pennywise and Freddy Krueger together, that's what I was looking. We didn't actually have for me, I didn't
have to look for
it. But he was this guy. He horribly bloodily gore kills people, but he says funny stuff while he's doing it.
But what was important about this one, and this is kind of like the birth of Slaughter. It was a wisecracking killer in a slasher movie.
Yeah, he
where
became
we got
Slaughter.
the idea of
Slaughter in the first movie we did with
being
him.
funny. My idea for the Shackler was it was a guy. It was a not realized serial killer, but a normal serial killer, not supernatural, who was killed many people, and then he was like caught, executed, sent to hell, and then he gets a deal from the devil himself, and says,
Ghost Rider.
in a way, where it says, if you kill every single person in this one area in 3 days, you can walk the earth again. So it's just a unspeaking killer just sent back to Earth from
we're kind of
Satan himself, killing everyone.
The problem is, we had big creative differences, and I wanted to use the Shackler's name for my character, but I really like his idea, and I wouldn't mind doing that in the future.
It was something I always wanted to make like a comic book out of, because I feel like that would be the right medium for it, but it's something that'll never happen. My idea is way too
Can we
ambitious.
call it On Borrowed Time?
Watch like in 4 years.
We're gonna make
That's
a movie. We're gonna make the movie called On Borrowed Time.
I'm sure during the
Yeah,
course
but
of the talking, something's going to be made into a movie off of some of this.
I would definitely
Yeah.
love to make a movie.
I'm gonna
write
about
that freaking
I would
down.
watch.
I like that,
That sounds
actually.
fun. It's a good plot. I didn't know that.
Well, so in like 6
It was
years,
just too
when this
ambitious,
movie,
but
when this movie
Still
comes out in
ambitious.
6 years, you know where it came from now. Right.
I titled it.
Yeah. So it's all Keith's idea now. Next video we had was called Star Trek: The Next Generation, and it is found, so we'll play it for you.
This is different from Star Trek Valkyrie.
Yeah, Star Trek Valkyrie is something that
It's like the next.
when I actually have money, I'm gonna put a little more effort into.
We'll get to Valkyrie though later.
But
With
this
the next generation.
this is us.
This
just
is
one
like
thing.
we just got into Star Trek. We just got a Star Trek shirt.
We need to explain though why we got into Star Trek.
Disney bought Star
Disney,
Wars.
Lucas sold Disney to sold
Disney.
Star
Sold
Wars to
Disney.
Disney, and we just jumped the gun and we're like, oh, it's gonna be. I have my problem.
Episode 9 hasn't landed, so we're not sure. We still can't confirm for
Episode 8, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Episode 8. But they've done other really good stuff. But we jumped the gun. We were just like, you know what? That's gonna be awful. They're gonna make it too kid friendly. And then
It's gonna
we're
be like
you know
Darth
what
Mickey.
you know what will show Disney? If we're gonna watch Star Trek.
Show them.
and we watched Star Trek.
We
It was
binged
awesome.
all the Star Trek movies probably within.
Like 2 weeks.
It was quick.
It was very
We
cool.
don't have a light.
And
we just got our shirts.
we got a Star Trek. Well, I got my first one.
You got
because
it
we're
ahead
doing
of
a
us.
Star Wars marathon because we do it every year. We do a Star Wars marathon. So we get usually a lot of times we'll get a shirt for it. I bought a Star Trek shirt. It was a T-shirt that had like the logo, like it looked like a captain shirt.
Yeah, it was yellow. And then later on, after when me and Keith got our shirts, he was the blue, I was red. And there was, first off, he made really crappy animation of like a ship flying through stars.
Well, the thing is, he made it and then didn't know how to export it, so he just filmed it.
So I just took the camera and filmed it on the actual thing.
That was the intro. So the next
I honestly
generation.
gave it a good filter.
And you know what? We're not gonna explain the video. You can watch it for
There's
yourself. We
nothing to
did find
explain.
it, but it is.
It looks
us
stupid. I
being
had
stupid.
a little shaggy goatee going on. It was a while ago. Good. Like it was something
Good video.
that this wasn't supposed to be a movie or anything. This was us
Just something we made.
acting stupid. You'll see it. It's good.
Captain's log, stardate 11/25. We have come across a strange planet, and me, Mr. Spock, and a security personnel are beaming down to check it out. Beam us down, Scotty! Beam us up, Scotty!
Next one up is something we did technically film. It was the original idea for Dead Simple, which was what Damage Control became, but it was the original idea that was much more ambitious that fell
See,
apart.
we probably beat a dead horse with explaining like Dead
Everyone
Simple,
knows everything
Retribution
about it,
and stuff. But
Let me
quick
get a go
summary:
on it.
that was the original
Dead
Damage
Simple
Control.
was the original idea, fell apart.
Damage Control took
Gave
the name.
up on it.
We called it Damage Control because we did Damage Control,
Yeah.
and it became a thing.
So I'll just mention, because this is not something we haven't talked a lot about, but the original idea for Dead Simple was pretty much what we filmed, but there was also, as you see in the deleted scenes, Justin Bell had a character, Becca Martin, I had a character, and then Abby Baker. It was more characters. Zach dying was not the climax, it was like the second kill. There was more kills. And
it wasn't supposed to be 6 minutes long.
Yeah, it was just Skullface and Inferno before they had names. Well, Skullface had a name. Inferno was just the gas mask killer. Creatively named the gas mask killer.
I still refer to him as the gas mask.
I do too.
And what happened was at the very end, Inferno gets what happened in the third movie. He gets like guts beat down by the main girl, and he just like and this is like in tall grass. So they leave, they go and get Skullface now, who's mad that they killed, like, I think it might have been like a brother for some dumb reason. Anyways, that he killed his brother Inferno, so then he like runs at him with a knife and then they kill him with a knife. Skullface dies. Inferno though, in a teaser at the very end, his arm goes up, Inferno's alive. There's also the party scene that we tried to film, which was the punk that we talked about from Punk of the Living Dead. It was the idea of Shane wanted to be a punk.
Why touch this one time to eat it?
How much is a fat kid eat?
I've only had one of these.
You acknowledge yourself as a fat kid. You responded.
In our
Action.
I completely missed that.
Oh god.
What? Did you hit yourself?
That was completely unepic too.
And I couldn't follow it that fast because I was so zoomed in.
This is awkward.
Oh yeah, you see that in the bonus stuff of me.
We're not going to talk a lot about it, but it was just
I like to think.
Failed.
I like to think that Slaughter was the punk at the party.
So besides the opening of some stuff at the party, like with the punk setting it up, everything that filmed was in the movie.
Yeah, like the punk at the party kind of showed up in a way with Hiroshima.
What do you mean everything we filmed was in the movie?
No, every
bonus.
Oh wait, yeah, you're right. There's a lot of stuff.
That was not
I mean
in the
like
movie.
anything that you see on the DVD bonus featuring deleted scenes, which are up on YouTube. All that stuff's there. You don't need us to explain the plot anymore. But it's just an awful film.
Did you get the name Dead Simple?
Dead Simple's a level in Doom that James told me about.
He had another level in Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually got some names for stuff from levels in the original Dooms.
But it failed, so.
Is it something that we were ever gonna try to use a name and make something else in the future?
Yeah, the Damage Control 2.
Damage Control 2 as well.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. But Dead Simple failure became Damage Control. We talked about it.
It spawned a franchise.
Yeah. Next one is something that was just an idea, unfilmed, but we wanted to make a Dungeons and Dragons fan film. And
that's never happening.
It was never going to happen, but we were just going to dress
that
up.
That would have been so ambitious. In theory, if we all had decent jobs with disposable incomes, we could buy LARPing stuff and make it.
But it would have been cheap stuff. We would have just got cheap masks, cheap outfits.
Yeah,
all that kind of stuff.
This is something that we could make a stupid thing and actually have okay looking costumes.
We started playing Dungeons and Dragons and we wanted to make a movie about it. That was one thing, I wanted an idea where someone's playing a game and somehow the characters from the Dungeons and Dragons realm gets transported to the real world.
Doing Imagine X?
Yeah, kind of in a way.
Wasn't there an Imagine X film where that happened?
Yeah, I think so. God, that was bad. So that was Dungeons and Dragons. We also, at one point in time, wanted to change it to Wizards and Warriors, which was a game that no one heard of, and I thought it'd be funnier. It's essentially
Wizards and Warriors. I have 1 and 2 for the NES, and they were it's just funny. The guy jumps, he has a sword, he jumps like this.
So we need to do stuff like that.
So it was going to be more.
The reason we would have changed it to Wizards and Warriors was because it would be funnier to find a fan film for Wizards and Warriors, and it would be Dungeons and Dragons.
Or if we wanted to make a porn parody, it could be Duchesses and Dildos.
1 year later, after Dead Simple fell apart, we tried Dead Simple again, which was what became Damage Control 2 Inferno. Now, we have also talked about...
The irony is, Dead Simple was not so simple.
No, I just want to say for the record that I wasn't supposed to have to talk when I was on the pros.
Yeah. And pretty much, we won't talk a lot into it with Damage Control 2 Inferno and Dead Simple, but everything that was filmed for Dead Simple did make it into Damage Control 2. Everything you see on screen was filmed, because we filmed in order. Now, what happened was, that was the intro, and it was going to be a web series with 5 different episodes. But what played out was they would have all woken up instead of just seeing the pictures of them dead. And Keith would have stormed off in one direction and he said, "Hey, I think this is the way out." And everyone's like, "Hey, we hate you, Keith. We're going this way." Keith finds a way out, but he's running to get to the house, and there's a wire that he gets his neck on, so he would have been bleeding from his neck. I think it would have been a cool scene.
Yeah, this one was even more ambitious than our first one.
Yeah.
And our first one, and the whole thing our first one fell apart with was like people.
Slaughter's introduced now. This one officially did have Slaughter instead of us putting him back in later.
Yeah,
Slaughter was running at people in the woods and hit someone in the stomach with a machete.
We were looking
and then someone
at it
puts
this
a
way.
knife in
Damage Control was going to be the spiritual like test footage.
It's like with Evil Dead. There's a test footage film called Was in the Woods. Damage Control was our Within the Woods.
Yeah.
Evil Dead Simple would have been our Evil.
And we were like, hey, let's put a freaking another killer in it.
Yeah. Zach Novak was originally going to be in it, but then we replaced him with Jonah Cahill. And then,
Wherever he is now.
But whatever I said, like, was Slaughter coming up, putting a machete in the stomach, and then dying like that. That's how we used that for Damage Control 3 Revelations. And later on, pretty much, it kind of played out similar to the ending of the original Dead Simple was like Inferno thinking he's dead, and then Slaughter.
Yeah, there's a lot from when they were originally both Dead Simples that was used and turned in for Damage Control 3.
But Keith was up on the cross. Now, there's two big differences, I would say. One, Skullface was revealed to be someone they did not know. I would say the biggest one was the Chosen One did not exist. Taylor was just supposed to die like the rest of the people.
And then this was a movie that we're like, hey, let's add another killer, so there's 3. Then we had a Damage Control, Dead Simple, and then it was like, now there's 4.
So the Chosen One did not exist. Taylor died like the other people, but when we fixed the movie and the Damage Controlled it into the second movie, Taylor became a huge character. And we wrote ourselves in a corner, so we had to bring Taylor back, but it worked for Damage Control 3.
Dead Simple was what we wanted
to end the series.
With the recent Damage Control 3, we're like, we already got 2 movies in this series.
We wanted a trilogy.
We were like, we'll just make it a trilogy. And we kind of consider Dead Simple as bad luck now.
Yeah, so we've gotten better. But Dead Simple was, I would say, our last big failure.
Many other small failures.
Small failures. Next up, we got an idea that was never filmed. It was an idea I thought a lot about. There's a lot of pre-production I put into, like pre-writing stuff I put into it. But it was an idea that I said, hey, it would be cool if we could film this, but we can't. It was called The Corrupt. And it was about...
Oh, God.
Pretty much, it was like, not superheroes, like supervillains teaming up together.
Kind of like anti-heroes.
And ruling the city. But most of them weren't anti-heroes. They were like actual despicable people.
Yeah.
It's just one person on the inside was a good guy, and he was trying to get the other people to help him to take down the leader. Now, I can just go into like the ideas. If there's any pictures of concept art, I did have someone make concept art for 2 of the
I
films.
forgot all about that.
No Name and
That's
Night
sweet.
Avenger.
I forgot all about that.
I'll see if I can find it. But it was about the Night Avenger, who just like wore a ski mask and a punk outfit. His father died at the hands of No Name, who's a guy who had a black expressionless mask. For something, I didn't think much into it. So when he grows up, he starts like becoming a villain. Pretending to be a villain because he wants to get in with No Name, who like runs the city. And then, because he's forming like a super villain gang, the Legion of Doom, if you will. And some of them don't have power, some of them do. One of them, there was Biohazard, which was a girl who, if she touches you with her fingertips, it's corrosive and it just burns right through you and melts your skin. There was the Lurker, who would have been played by James Bull, who pretty much just, it would have been like, it's like a werewolf, but he looks more like a were-rat. And I pictured James, like a mutant.
Why do we put James with this?
In a hairy role. There was Blind Spot, which I think I changed to Dark Spot into something else. He was someone who, if he's in a shadow, he became completely invisible, and he entered something called the Dark Realm, which is it's like
I love how this like would be sweet to do.
Yeah.
No physical way we could do
this.
This
was also Skullface was gonna.
Yeah.
Not different Skullface, but a character called Skullface wearing the same outfit. I think Ripper was gonna play him. He was the guy who beat people up and killed people. They all had their mini backstories. And all of them, at one point in time, we were going to do many movies that would be like prequels to this Corrupt that would happen.
Avengers.
Yeah.
With the with this though, it was funny because Sean actually made gave all of us. We all went camping one day, and for all of us, he got this big like thing of like movie ideas that we could try in the future. But he had them like sectioned off and like, hey, we could do this one. This would be harder. We can't really do this one. And
this was one we can't.
Yeah, this one we can't. And we took it camping. And Sean wanted us to circle stuff we liked, and there was quite a few, like, there were good stuff that I knew we couldn't really do.
The Corrupt got the most votes, though.
Yeah.
It's just we couldn't do it.
I didn't, I think one of the ones that I didn't vote for it specifically because I'm like, we can't do it. I don't even want to waste a vote. But our friend Donovan,
who would have been the Night Avenger,
who's worked with us quite a bit with our movies, like especially music-wise and stuff. He was.
You should buy the box off.
He was. What's his name in Hiroshima?
He was Gonad Eddie.
He was Gonad Eddie, and he gotta love these names. But
Mike and stuff said
his like I forgot about that. But he did, like, little bit before he started dating his girlfriend. And this was
while dating.
No, it was short. It was like 2 months in.
Into dating.
Well, I said shortly before this. I clarify. Shortly before this, he started dating the girl he's still with. But in the movie,
Taryn.
like, what?
Hi, Taryn.
What's up, Taryn?
Who's also in Stuff Said.
How you doing,
Anyways,
Taryn?
continue.
Thanks for being in Stuff Said. We really needed it. But he really will, like, I want to be this role, and like that role has a romantic like kiss.
Night Avenger would have like
with a girl,
and
we basically said we can't do this, and he's texting his girlfriend saying, yeah, I'm gonna be in this movie where I gotta kiss a girl. Are you okay with this?
They almost broke up over a movie I've never
and she got mad, rightfully so. He jumped the gun on this. I don't know why he did this. Hi, Donovan. But it was just like, and then I'm giving him bad advice, and I'm like, you know what you do? You sit down with her, you go, and you tell her, I'm the man. I decide what I do with my life. I was gonna ruin it. I'm sorry, Taryn. I didn't think you like. You
didn't think you'd stick around.
You deserve better.
We didn't expect Donovan to have a girlfriend.
But like, he was really like Donovan, because Donovan loves superheroes and comic books. I can see why he really wanted to do this. Not a movie we could have ever conceived.
It's a great idea, though.
I don't even think if we had access to a like warehouse that had a lot of open space and we could build sets. I don't even think we could do it then.
Who's gonna build
yeah, it would
have been us. It would have been awful.
Now there was also another character that was no names. The guy who works like the computers, who would have been called like Nano, and that would have been Keith. Keith would have been.
Hi, I'm Nano.
Shane would have been No Name. I would have been Blind Spot. James would have been Lurker. No Girl was Biohazard because we didn't have girls. Donovan would have been a Night Avenger.
See, this is back when we were like. Yeah, when we make movies, we gotta use our friends.
There was also a superhero that wasn't cast, but a superhero that they would have been up against that Night Avenger would help team up with called the Bull Beast. It was just a guy wearing like a bull mask that would just beat people, super villain. Pretty much, he would have his two siblings would roam like the streets, waiting to like pick up crime. So if someone like tries to like jump them or something, then they would like, because it was like they were all radioed, the Bull Beast would come in and just beat the crap out of them. It was that wasn't cast. So that was pretty much, it was the Night Avenger getting Biohazard and the Lurker, the team up to go against the No Name, who would have had Skullface.
In concept, this is one of the best concepts I think we had.
Wait, there was also another character called Ruby Red, who was a girl who, if she touched you, she could instantly know every single bit of knowledge that you have, like all of your memories she had. And it was like a creepy kind of like, you know, those creepy girls in movies. That's what she was. We didn't have a little girl.
Yeah, one of the best concepts we ever had, thought through pretty, but not something we could ever foreseeably
it'll never happen.
Do. Yeah, that says something because like we can't do a lot, but this is something like there's a lot of stuff. If we put our mind to it and put time, we can do it. It won't look great. This one, like I don't even know how we'd show half these people.
Next up is Halloween of the Living Dead, which was originally called Zombieween when I wrote it. It was originally 3 short stories I wrote for an English class, and I just got really into these assignments because I wanted to make a big thing. I have also made the first act in the script for script writing in college. I sense it would be expanded upon, but pretty much it was...
This was a combination of our love of zombie movies and slasher movies in a way. Because
what it was... There was a Halloween party going on. Everyone dressed up kind of like a slasher villains. And zombies attack. What happens in it, though, is there would have been... The main character was Drake, playing Dracula. Then there was someone... Originally would have been Shane playing this role, but I've since changed into a girl playing Angela Baker. Dressed as Angela Baker. A girl would have been Michael Myers. There would have been someone dressed up as... like a kind of a jerk kind of guy dressed up as Jason Voorhees. There would have also been James Bull playing Leatherface, and he would have been like kind of retarded. So he would just, the whole party's just kind of sitting there playing with a toy chainsaw, and he doesn't say a lot. I would have played the Wolfman, who didn't say a single word.
Sean likes to not say words in movies.
I don't have to learn lines. And then Keith would have played Tarman, who was a zombie, and he would have been in like blackface with his brown string.
Okay.
But that would have been the joke. We would be making fun of like why in the hell would he go with blackface?
I'm glad we didn't do that.
I would love.
I mean, I wouldn't consider that blackface.
No, you would have
when
gone
you're doing
but
it's tar on your face.
yeah,
I mean,
but it would have looked like.
So like when we say blackface, we're not saying blackface.
Yeah.
We're just saying because if you know what Tarman looks like,
but the joke was that he was, and pretty much they're bickering, people who don't get along too well anymore, and then there's like a love story like with Dracula and Michael Myers. It's kind of something there.
Wait, a love story with Dracula and Michael Myers?
Yeah, that's the movie right there. But those two characters, romantic angle. What happens though is
I'm sure the LGBT community would love us.
Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, Tarman, and Tarman gets bitten, eventually turned into a zombie, and Dracula. They're the main story. And they get like split up by the main group, and they like run off. They find a different house, barricade in there. Tarman turns.
Jason's like a redneck guy?
Yeah, they're the redneck guy who also turned. Jason becomes a douche, but he gets mauled. Dracula gets bitten, but Michael Myers still makes it out and has to leave Drake to his fate. And she goes away. But there's a side story, which is a comedic relief. Because while the main story, they get out of the house, the Angela Baker character, Wolfman and Leatherface, they get locked in the basement, and they can't get out. So it's just them just messing around in the basement the whole movie. They eventually... and Angela Baker's a loudmouth girl. Leatherface says nothing. Wolfman says nothing. So it's pretty much just one person talking to himself, just complaining about the situation.
Doesn't Leatherface like get a actual chainsaw at one point?
What happens was they break out of the basement. Right when they get out, the Wolfman like their idea was to like push a chair to like knock everyone down. And then was wooden, not baseball bats, but brooms, like beat people down. But like zombies down, and make it to the shed to get a ham radio to call for help. That was the plot. But what they do is right when they get out of there, Leatherface makes it to the place. Wolfman hits a zombie with the broom, breaks, he runs off. Angela Baker gets mauled and dies. Leatherface makes it into the shed, sees the ham radio, and then sees a chainsaw sitting next to it. So instead he gets a chainsaw and tries to kill zombies with a chainsaw. Now, there was a gag that ended up being in Retribution later. You know, in Retribution, when Charlie is closing the door and just puts like that tiny little hook down to stop them from getting in?
No, like,
that was
I like that.
Zombies of the Living Dead. I mean, Halloween of the Living Dead. And eventually, Leatherface dies. So it ends with the Michael Myers character getting cornered back at the house near the shed and about to die. Then a hand reaches down, pokes her on her shoulder. It's the Wolfman who survived. And he made it out. He's just sitting on the shed. So pulls her up, and I thought there was a great shot, and this is the reason I explained the story, is that it's the Wolfman and Michael Myers sitting on the shed looking down at the driveway. Zombies are pouring in. Again, impossible to film. Yeah. But you see all the zombies of their friends coming at them and just trying to get to the top, just clawing at them. And it's like, it's completely hopeless, but at least they have each other. It zooms out and you see a bite mark on the Wolfman's shoulder. Because they don't know that you turned. Pretty much, that would never happen because we don't have the people to make it.
Yeah, that was the sole reason we didn't even try that.
But it was a very fleshed out idea. Next one doesn't have a name, but we're going to call it the Untitled Shane FBI trailer. Some things are filmed for it.
It'll get
finished. We will show you what was filmed for it.
It's a rough cut.
But Shane, you can explain it the best you can.
Well, it's supposed to be a really, like, a knockoff almost of, like, if you combine Jason Bourne with, like, James Bond, and, it was supposed to be that type of thing. I was going to have James, because we have James play all our ethnic roles for some reason. He was going to play a terrorist, like, mastermind that I'm trying to kill. And, like, because he was I think it was ex-army, like, special forces. And he has this whole, like, baggage. He got tortured for a while. And then, you know, he's living a good life. Got, like, a little beard going on. And then, like, the CIA comes in and, like, hey, we need you to, you know, come in. And then he thinks about it and comes in. And he was going to, like, this was just gonna be a trailer, so it wasn't.
Yeah, it would have been a trailer.
It's not gonna be. It wasn't gonna be an actual movie, but like one of the things he has to kill this like guy. I think I was gonna do it from like the Caucasus, just because that area we could similar vegetation, and it was gonna be James' parents' backyard, but there was gonna be like one point where like I'm aiming the sniper at him, and then he like you just see him like look over at you, and then he like presses the button. He presses the trigger, and then it clicks, and it's like, oh no, I've been set up by somebody on the inside, and then like all this, and then there's like a comedic part. But I don't even know who we were gonna have to do this, but it's like gonna be a girl like sunbathing on a pool by a pool, and he's gonna come over, and then she's gonna make a comment how like aren't like action heroes supposed to be good looking or something, or something like that. It would have been an interesting thing. I'll shoot more of it later.
Shane would have been like the main like hero. I was a CIA agent, and I think later on you said like I would have showed up and like also was like double crossing. You'd find me like tied up somewhere.
Everyone's double crossing.
Yeah, so pretty much it was something we did film, but we just didn't make much for it. So you can see what we have, but there was more to it that didn't get filmed.
It was very Tom Clancy. I was kind of going for.
Scott, U.S. Army?
Yes, I am. Ex-Army.
That's good. We're not the Army.
CIA?
Will you hear us out?
Yeah. Come on in. How'd you know about that? I don't do that anymore. It's too much death, too much violence.
You're all that we have left. We need you.
If you know about the Alvarez mission, then you know the name of my team. They're the ones you want.
They were both sent along with triagers after a target.
U.S. Army Special Operations Command acted on intel we provided. Everything was going smooth. They were about to hit their target, but they were ambushed and killed.
Lopez and Mohammed were both killed in Chechnya.
The CIA is taking control of the operation dealing with this target. Nathan, we need you for this. Do it for your country. Your friends.
I'm done with that life. I'm sorry to waste your time.
No problem. You have our card if you change your mind. This mission is the difference between life and death in many people.
Next one was considered partially filmed. It's a film called Creepy as Hell. This was going to be a... You would have heard this before, because it was an idea that we thought Snuff Set was going to be shorter than it was. We thought it was going to be 40 minutes. We wanted to make a feature film, so we were going to have our 40-minute Snuff Set, and James's brother Steven, who appears in some of our movies, he would have been...
He's big on making
yeah,
movies.
he would have... We asked him to make his own movie.
Adam
He's like, yeah, I'll do
Sandler
it.
and the Gas Chambers of Secrets.
That's his channel.
That's his channel. Don't ask me why it's
it would have been Steven's movie and our movie had the double feature, kind of like a Grindhouse thing. I don't know what his would have been called. I don't think he did a single thing for it, but he said he would. Didn't happen. Snuff Set ended up being a feature film. Yeah. So we went from Creepy of Hell would have been like what it was called overall. So pretty much, yeah, all we had was just Snuff Set. And
yeah, I don't know
what we had for Snuff Set.
We don't really know what his
saw.
film would have been either.
So
I don't think he had
pretty
it.
much it is Snuff Set. And this is the next one. It's actually not a video, but it was a song that I wrote For Snuff Said, I originally wanted a end credit song was like an actual band. So I asked Dominic Tompkins, who was originally going to do music for Damn Close to Three, and Nate, hey, you're going to help us with Repulsive Cocks. We're going to make a song for Snuff Said credits called Snuff Said.
Similar to Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah. And because all great slasher movies from the 80s had theme songs. Ours was, though, I wrote it, we just didn't do any music for it.
I didn't know you wrote it.
I don't have the lyrics with me. It might have it somewhere, but I remember there was like there was a line where it's like, it was like, kill, 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 that's for sure. And like stuff like that, like you repeat stuff. And there was another one that was like, chop, 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 chop off her head, just might take it, and too bad. Yeah, it was a mess up.
What does that mean?
Yeah, no, there was a weird line about that and Snuff Said. It was a messed up song, but it was like a comedy thing about it, and it would have been making fun of Snuff Said. So I wrote the lyrics for it, but it didn't actually happen because Nate and Dominic never did anything. Next one up is average changing energy rate.
Average changing energy rate.
That was made.
Raiders.
We filmed the song for it. We filmed the trailer.
It was right when the Power Rangers movie was.
Yeah, Donovan got obsessed with Power Rangers, and we made a trailer for it. But we didn't film any footage. It was just the logo. So we had a logo, and we had a trailer, and we had the theme song. It was Power Rangers, but like a knockoff, and it was supposed to look bad.
Because Power Rangers didn't look bad.
What happened was we were going to make the trailer and the next summer film it. Donovan said he would watch Power Rangers, give me ideas for it. Year goes by, didn't happen.
Well, actually, he did watch Power Rangers and concluded that Power Rangers isn't actually that good.
And he couldn't finish it. I understand that.
That was a correct assessment.
So we couldn't. Changing energy raiders. We never actually ended up making it, but it would have been us like in morph suits. It was like the Raider, like a battery logo on our chest. We didn't think much into it, but there would have been Buldar instead of Goldar.
Sean had other stuff going on, so we kind of left that more towards Donovan, and Donovan didn't do it. But
I will say
for the
though,
best.
There were some ideas that I then used again in Hiroshima, and in some of the future Hiroshima sequels. Average change energy rate, it will not happen. I'm sorry, that trailer was for nothing. Next up is kind of like the double bill was average change energy rate. There was Star Trek Valkyrie, another trailer we made for the Snuff Said release. We made the trailer, we actually filmed something. You can see the trailer, it's online. We posted it when it came out. What did you plan on doing for that, Shane?
Well, along the lines of Star Trek Valkyrie was going to be Captain Robert Sebastian Warden. Funny how we got his name. We just like picked up random DVDs and looked at like names. So that's like Robert's from I Am Legend.
Yeah.
Pretty sure Robert Neville.
I don't know where Sebastian came from.
I think I just maybe
Warden was the villain in My Bloody Valentine.
Yeah. So like I picked up those two. I think I might have just said Sebastian because it sounded like, smart. But it was going to take on a different. It wasn't going to be as much like space stuff as Star Trek.
That would be horrible.
We can't do that.
Yeah, we can't really do that. It was going to be more of a.
It's like warfare on the planet.
They never really like touched on what's it called, the like warfare outside of like space battles. So I wanted like the Federation's like Marines or something. I think Warden was a Federation Marine that's now in charge of a starship. So they go down on it, and it was gonna be like I was gonna have like more tactical looking stuff, but with a Star Trek like. And they were like, one of them was like, I wanted a slightly longer one for the first one. It was going to involve a planet trying to like get itself off of. I think we were going to do Gorn rule.
Yeah.
And because you can Gorns are easy because I mean you just get the mask, you got a tunic.
I remember Keith would have been the medical officer. Wasn't he?
He was
a Vulcan named Shren. Yeah. A Vulcan named Shren, I think. Donovan would have been something else. I don't know.
James would have been a Klingon. Whoever used the Klingon.
I think I was going to be background people.
You're going to be all the red shirt.
Yeah, I was every red shirt.
We were going to like give you mustaches.
Yeah, and then like I did with the main character. I wanted to also be the main pilot of the starship. Yeah. And I wanted to be an alien, and it would have probably been the alien butt mask. That's the only way.
It would have been like, them trying like a small group of them trying to help the locals kill the Gorn.
Yeah.
Gorn would have just been easy. That's why we picked Gorn.
Yeah.
It's something in the future. I don't have the money.
Maybe
right
we'll
now.
eventually, but as of right now, it's something that was never filmed beyond that trailer. Next up is something that wasn't probably ever going to happen, but it was a sequel to Snuff Said, just called Snuff Said 2. There was 2 ideas for it, because I didn't really want to make one, but other people, like, I remember Donovan was like, yeah, I think a sequel will be made. So I had to come up with 2 ideas.
Because he wanted to be in it. That's why it was the whole, like, I want a sequel.
For Snuff Said 2, there was 2 ideas. The first one was, Snuff Said was a movie made by Mr. Mayhem Movies. But then we get so obsessed with making a film, we start killing people. So it would have been the same people, but we would have had different personalities. Like, Shane wouldn't have been this dominant person, because it would be like the real life Shane didn't act like the movie
Charles
Shane.
like?
Have I been involved then?
Yeah. To some extent. Maybe we would have killed you. I don't know.
Maybe I want to kill people.
It would have been something like that. I think that was an interesting meta idea. The other one was we would follow the exploits of Rippon's character and Donovan's character, who were the other people killing at the end, and they would start, like, they'd show them, like, killing people, and pretty much what happened was one person they try to kill would Taryn, Jamie, her sister, and then all the killers start dying one by one, and they get split up and they don't know what's going on. Find out that it is my character from Toby from Snuff Said survived and is killing them off one by
Sean
one.
likes to make himself survive in movies.
That is false. I die a lot in our movies, more than not. Damage Control Street, I died. Gnome, I died. I died at the end of Zeroth Doctor. I died a lot.
You didn't die at the end of Zeroth Doctor.
Okay, I regenerated.
To another white guy playing an alien.
But what happened was we were never gonna film that. So that's the reason it never happened.
That's okay. I'm good with just the one.
We don't. Snuff Said does not need.
That's a movie I do not think deserves a sequel.
No.
Like Retribution, we could probably work a sequel in there. Damage Control, we're hoping to do a 4th one down the road.
We'll get to all that.
But like this one, I really think it would just be kicking a skeletonized like
skeletonized.
It's not even a
fossil. It's beating a fossilized horror.
It's not something that would be remotely worth. I mean, the only thing plus is, would it be found footage? I mean, found footage is just easier for us to do. I'm not a fan of it.
But it won't happen.
No, I
don't worry, guys. You'll be spared if Snuff Said too.
No one's watching this.
We also once wanted to make, the same time we were making Damage Control Street, is to make a Monster Mash music video for like the song Monster Mash.
Maybe.
Monster Mash.
So we wouldn't have recorded the song. It would have just been the original song playing. But what would happen during that is we would all dress up as different classic monsters and dance around to it. And I remember you were going to be the Invisible Man. I was the Wolf Man. Keith.
I was Dr. Frankenstein.
You were Dr. Frankenstein. He would have been like the main character doing like in everything. And we would all play instruments at one point in time. Donovan was going to be
what we should have done?
I think.
We've heard of this song about the Monster Mash, but no one's ever recorded the Monster Mash.
I know, right?
Like, this song's just about the Monster Mash. It's not
That's
actually
very
the
true.
Monster Mash.
Monster Mash.
It never happened. What happened was Damage Control Street was so time consuming we didn't have time to do this music video.
Yeah, we didn't expect the actual story to be.
So
it was a whole 3 hours.
It just fell to the wayside. I did cast everyone. Everyone was cast. Every Universal classic monster down to the Phantom of the Opera was cast. But it wasn't enough time for it, and we just lost interest after Damage Control Street. I don't think we'll ever go back to it. It was a neat idea, but I don't think it'll ever happen. This next one was just an idea. And it was not something that we thought a lot into. It was like wouldn't it be cool if? It was called Resurrection of the Dead. And it would be if...
This was a joke.
When Jesus, is resurrected, comes out of his tomb, it's a zombie apocalypse, and he just kills all the zombies. Wouldn't that be awesome?
That was basically a joke I made. It would have been hilarious, but just Jesus was like...
I would like to think that he would recreate all the miracles from the Bible, but use them to kill zombies.
Yeah, that's pretty much what would happen.
And it
is a Family Guy joke taken too far.
Yeah, it's essentially a Family Guy joke.
That will never happen. It was just an idea. That would be... If someone with more money could make it, that would be awesome. So after the Resurrection of the Dead idea, we had another idea I had, which would have been like, it was called Marvel Mix-Up. Where it would have been one person wakes up one day and he's all of a sudden living in the Marvel universe. But it's all like very cheap. And that would have been like the joke. Like, why is he like a real life person living in the Marvel universe? Because he knows all the comic book characters. So it would have basically spawned for me was my Howard the Duck costume.
It was like a plastic infinity going
Yeah. And it would have been like there was someone playing Spider-Man would come on, but it would be like silly string he would like go in on. It was not an idea I thought a lot about, but it would have been basically Howard the Duck would have been like his best friend. Pretty much everyone he knows from his life becomes superheroes except him. So his friend would have been Howard the Duck. So it would have been this main guy was Howard the Duck teaming up.
Yeah, I never heard about this concept.
Yeah, it was something that I thought about a lot, but like it would be impossible. Like costume-wise, we can get around it because it would be a crappy costume, but we had more important things to do. It would have been a funny idea, but it wouldn't have been worth the headache, I don't think. This next one I just threw in here, but because it was called Damage Rolls 3 Salvation. It was the original idea for Damage Rolls 3 Revelation. It was the same movie, pretty much, but there was one key difference, and it's that there was...
I was the killer.
The key difference is the Chosen One the whole time talking about we need to please this entity, this like unnamed demonic force.
The Shackler?
It was kind of like in the afterlife we will be rewarded if we do it. So she brainwashed these people and they're believing this stuff. And pretty much that was like the angle in it. And then also the opening was like much more condensed. There was like Ripon was the Ian character and there was no party scene. It was something that we didn't get very far into. I'm glad we changed to Revelation became what it is. But there was technically a different idea and it did go under the name Salvation originally. Why? I don't know.
We'll have to make a movie called Dead Simple Salvation.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't read the script when Sean gave it to me.
He never
I honestly thought that was still in the script when we were getting there.
Because I did talk about it before, but it didn't happen. I'm glad we did not, because that would have been more baggage than we needed. I remember I wrote it and I thought, that is too complicated for a dumb slasher film. Get it out. So I'm glad we got rid of that. So we did make a web series called The Mortigorier. That sucked to make. No one watches it till episodes of 2.
I don't think a single person, like at all, like, I never watched it and I made it.
It's pretty much, we reviewed whole franchises at once. We wanted to make and we reviewed like, what was it, 6 episodes with 6 franchises. We wanted to make a season 2, which would have been 6 more franchises. The ones we would have talked about were Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Psycho, Saw, Scream, the Hannibal Lecter series, and then Hatchet would have been the random one at the end. That would have just been 6 more franchises to do. Would have been fun to film it, but Mortigoria was a simple concept we made difficult by
adding more than we needed.
Yeah, we didn't need the pictures, which was what made it grueling. It was so long.
With those, you don't need a picture for everything, and maybe an occasional picture. If
No pictures.
No pictures.
I hate pictures.
So
I get what you mean. I just hate.
Yeah, Mortigorier just
you need them occasionally
sucked.
though.
Yeah. I hate
see, I wanted to do off of this, do a similar thing, but do an episode for each Star Wars movie because that's what we're really.
That may eventually happen.
Yeah, that's something that I would like to take it because, I mean, we could talk enough on those, and it would be an easy one.
You know what the downfall from Mortigorier was though? We talked about a whole franchise in one video.
No, yeah.
We needed to do individual ones. Which we fixed ourselves with something else we'll talk about later. But
yeah,
what we did here, it wasn't good. So the next one we'll talk about is something that was just an idea. It was Harambe's Revenge.
Oh, that was a joke.
It was basically someone in a
You
monkey suit.
will learn that most of our movies that we've made or in here, we're usually either rely heavily on jokes I made or entirely jokes that I made. And this is one of those.
Harambe's Revenge would have been someone dressed as in an ape suit or gorilla suit would go around killing people with an AK-47. He had a cigar in his mouth.
I thought it would be hilarious. Just him going around like killing zookeepers. And stuff.
It was a terrible idea, but never would have been filmed. But it would have been awesome. The next one is a complete disaster that we are only tangentially related to. It's called The True Self.
Oh god. Love you, Rippin.
Rippin.
Love you, buddy.
We'll condense it. Our friend Jacob
Hi,
Rippin,
Rippin.
who's in our movies, he made
Our Rippin's friends that are in the army that might
he
be
made
watching
his
this.
company called April's Revenge. He wanted to make his own movies. So he wanted to make this overly ambitious thing called A True Self. Bought so much supplies for it. I'm not even going to describe what the script was because I don't understand. He never gave it to us. He said he wrote all of it but like a couple pages. And then I said, hey, can I see the script? Like, oh, I still have like 10 more pages to write. Like, oh, I still have like 20 pages to write.
His problem with this
Rippin.
movie was he kind of did what we did with earlier stuff but did it on steroids. He made it too ambitious, and then like maybe if like it wasn't so ambitious, I think he could have probably pulled it off. It was so ambitious. There's so much you wanted to do, and it was just like, yeah, there's no possible way that
It wasn't going to happen.
No.
But what you will see is that the Dust Zone first episode, The True Self, was the only footage filmed from Rippin's The True Self story. So, you can see all the footage that was filmed. I can't tell you what the script was about because I don't know. No one knows.
I didn't
Ask
really
me.
have much of a script to work with.
But there was the weird demon in it. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah, it was an ugly looking demon too.
We were only tangentially related because he was using our cast and crew, some of our supplies, but it was April's Revenge, not us. Don't hold it against us. This idea was something that, it was just something I wanted to film, was one person at my apartment in Akron when I was going to college. It would have been called Invasion of the Cliches. And it was about, it would have been just like someone, yeah, I didn't tell anyone about this. It would be someone, it would probably been me, running, like going for a jog, and walking downstairs in an apartment, going outside, running for a jog, and then like a zombie comes. And like starts chasing him, so he thinks he's getting chased by a zombie, starts running away, runs back in his apartment, closes the door and tells like his roommate, hey, there's like a zombie outside, and then like, what do you need to do? And then the roommate would say like, isn't that like kind of like a good, because a lot of cliched things
Zombie
happen
in the
there.
garden.
Yeah, this is zombie in the garden.
Girl.
A girl in the garden.
The girl in the garden.
And she like, wouldn't that be a cliche? And then like the person thought and like think, okay, no, that didn't happen. And then it would rewind, jogging again, but like a serial killer comes out, like a slasher looking villain, and then the roommate keeps talking down like all the cliches they had, so then it's like an alien invasion, and it's just all these horror movie cliches until they get a very, very original idea. It would have been just a short film, 2 people needed.
That's an easy one. That could be done in the future.
But
I'd be
I never wrote it because I lost interest fast. There's just other more important things. There was one time when April's Revenge was gonna make their Rippin's company was making their True Self movie. So we were like, hey, we want it next summer to make our movie. To make Retribution. Alright. And then we're like, the summer after that, we gotta like start making up ideas to take up the summer so he doesn't take our summers anymore. That's why we came up with the idea of the Dimension of the Impossible, which is gonna be like a bad 50s science fiction movie. And it would have been about some guy like opening up a portal to the Dimension of the Impossible. An alien comes through. Well, someone comes through warning them that this weird, creepy alien's gonna come and take over your dimension like it took over ours. So he kind of teams up with that person.
This has been something it was Sean's idea. I've been championing because like I really like science fiction a lot, and I would love for Mr. Mayhem Movies to go into that a little bit
Which
too.
we might. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But was this idea? It was pretty much like you team up with that person in the other dimension trying to stop it from happening.
I really want to make some like B movie, like 50 era, like horror or science fiction horror type stuff that they made then. So really like cliched and.
But stuff that could look like it's on a low budget because we would make it purposely on a low budget.
Yeah, it would like that's why B movies are pretty good for us.
Stuff on like strings, like a.
Yeah, like I want to do one with like a UFO on a string. Like,
So I remember what happened was the guys talking about how these impossibles, as they called them, come and like take it in the form of human. So you need to like be wary of that, and they're like trying to figure out how to stop all the impossibles coming. And then they start to come, but then you find out that the guy who came through originally and said my dimension is gone, was really one of the impossibles coming through. And it would have been like one of those bad twists. I didn't think far into it, but it was an idea that we do plan on going back later. It's just that idea, or not. We're just taking something different with it. And we'll get to that later. When we came out with Snuff Set, we made the Alaskan Ed trailer, which was literally
Yeah.
just a 15-minute short.
That was us just making a bunch of cliches.
Short film where we didn't have to worry about the plot.
Like cliches, satire, and stuff. It was just supposed to be funny.
A spoof of Indiana Jones.
And in a way,
obviously.
That's one of my favorite things at that point we've ever done, was that, because it's hilarious. Like, if you've seen Indiana Jones, it's even more funny, because there's a lot of, like,
a lot of references. I think it's good. Now, it was called the Crystal Jackson Motion. We believe, at least I said, it was the fourth movie in this Alaskan Ed
Kingdom of the
series,
Crystal
like the
Skull.
Crystal Skull.
Yeah, that's why.
So in the trailer we mentioned...
we were like, oh crap, we gotta make up other movies.
It was Raiders of Hitler's Left Nut, the Synagogue of Doom, and then The Last Jihad. I have since thought, wouldn't it be a funny idea to remake, like, take the original, like, Raiders of the Lost Ark trailer and Temple of Doom, remake it shot for shot, but it was Alaskan Ed, and just whiz his comedy into it, and just spoof it. So we would make, like, straight actual trailers for these movies that never actually happened. I since, like, thought, like, we have had too much stuff going on, so I kind of put those on the back burner. They probably won't happen.
James
but it would
is
be
a very hard
idea.
actor to get a hold of nowadays. He's not doing much.
He's on permanent sabbatical.
Yeah. For obvious reasons.
He doesn't know what a sabbatical is, but he's on a permanent sabbatical.
So, those would probably never happen, but it would be funny ideas. Next one is something I called the Milkman. And backing up a bit, there is Stephen King, who's my favorite writer, who got me, my favorite writer who's got me back into reading a bunch of books. And he has a thing called the Dollar Baby program, where you send in, hey, like, I would like rights to this one really short story you had, because there's a list of short stories he gives away, and it's like, hey, if you give me $1, I will then give you permission to make a short film based on my books. So what I did was, hey, wouldn't this be awesome? Because I read that most people, like, if you submit a Dollar Baby, like, they give it to you. So what I read all the short stories that were available. I picked the one that I thought would be the best for film, which was Morning Deliveries. It was known as Milkman #1. And so I then wrote the script for it. So I pretty much took the short story is the intro, and then I made my whole original stuff to it. Ended up being like 50-ish pages. So then I made the script. This is what we were going to make this one year. But when I then submitted it to Stephen King, I got an email back saying, like, Stephen King does not allow you to do this, and that killed it right there. We don't have the rights to the story. So I made a 50-page story for no reason.
Well, in theory, you could always take that, change it enough.
Yes. So what we could do eventually is...
Because, like, he doesn't have sole right to
just
a milkman. That's...
Yeah, but what we would have...
Also, an important thing is we don't make money off of these, so your creative license is pretty damn high.
Yeah.
So...
Whatever.
Pretty much I could take the intro out, put a different intro in, it would be my original idea. But I like the story I made. I think it would have been good. There was... Pretty much it was people... It was pretty much different ways to kill people with milk, was the story. It was like a horror comedy. And there was one, I would say this is like one of my favorite kills we've never done. One of the milks that the guy drinks, it's like poison. So pretty much he drinks it, nothing happens, story goes on. He's going up in his room, brushing his teeth to music, to the bathroom, brushing his teeth to music. And then like he spits, blood comes out with the toothpaste. So he's kind of like freaked out a bit, so he brushes more. Because you know sometimes when you brush your teeth, like after you floss, there's blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. You never had that before? Do you floss?
I do.
Oh, you've never had blood in your mouth after flossing?
No.
It's just something.
I don't know. Maybe I'm the weird one.
Anyways, but like, so he like puts it back in, wondering what's wrong, spits again, more blood. So then you're like this, like melting, like fizzing, starting like start to happening, and then he starts to like vomit up all this like green goop and just vomit and blood and just disgusting. So he's flailing around the bathroom, blood everywhere, falling into the bathtub, blood going everywhere, and he just dies there. I think that would be awesome.
I think he needs to be pooping himself at the same time, though.
Poop? No.
Bloody poop.
I think it would have been awesome. But no, we didn't.
Sorry.
Can't do it. There was other ones that, other kills I thought was good, was like insects and spiders, like just killing people. One where a guy like hallucinates and just milkman kills them. Another one, so it was good. I thought I had good kills, but it can't come to be because we don't have the rights to it. So maybe you'll see these kills somewhere else, but the story of the milkman won't be happening. next one is a complete departure from everything Mr. Mayhem Movies has ever done.
Was it a rom-com?
It was not a rom-com. It was like a heartfelt romantic.
That's
film.
worse.
It was. It would have been like not a silent film, but there would be like no talking in it. And it'd be
That's
someone
a silent
who.
film.
No, but it wouldn't have been like there's sounds happening. It just
okay.
there would be no talking. So
Sounds
what would happen was someone who comes home and like gets a number from gets a text from a wrong number, and like through like texting finds out it's like a girl finds out that it's someone that she's never talked, like a friend of a friend and all this, but it was that person meant to text someone else. It was a whole thing, and pretty much it would be a short film. And then eventually they start like liking each other, but they never met before, and eventually it was like this heartfelt thing of going on a date. And then the first things they say in the whole movie is hi to each other before it ends at their first date. That would have been just some romantic thing. I thought it was a great idea.
What the heck are you? This is not what this.
It is not my cup of tea.
Which is not why it's happening.
I don't want to do that.
But
No, it'd be
I thought it was a
hilarious.
great idea.
Do a romantic movie, then
And
halfway
it's Keith
through.
at the end that shows up to
God.
the date.
But halfway through, the guy like shows up at the girl's
Ouch.
house, opens the door, and just gets stabbed right in the neck.
See,
we want to ruin your movie.
I know it was called Wrong Number. I wanted a very like more heartfelt.
And then at the end,
would
it
actually-
turns out that they both have cancer and die.
This is why we didn't make it, because they would ruin my movie.
But they don't just have
Throughout the
regular
whole movie,
cancer.
you'd be
They have like
Can we kill somebody here? No. Oh.
wait, and there's no jokes about like racially insensitive topics.
Because that's our bread and butter.
It's killing people and being upsetting.
So.
Yeah, there's a reason he didn't tell us about
Yeah,
that.
you guys are destroying. Now, my one friend Ray, who
Wait, can the whole thing happen as you say, but they're both wearing slaughter masks and it's like a slaughter love story?
That's how we could do it.
I talked to Ray Bohannon, who played Nagasaki and Hiroshima. God, that sounds so weird to say. She played Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Anyways, in that story, she's the one I brought it up to because I knew she wouldn't just like shoot it down. She thought it was a great idea.
Yeah, well, some people
Because it's a
are
girl.
wrong.
Well, she's
But
a very
guys,
supportive
yeah.
person. That's why.
Yeah, so that never happened. It was something I planned on filming this past year, but That was the last of our movies lost in the vault of Mr. Mayhem Movies. Now, with that in mind, we were just going to spend the next time, and we'll do this short, but this is all the ideas that we plan on releasing for Mr. Mayhem Movies. This is stuff that we're not ready to put in the vault yet because it's not abandoned, but we're gonna go from gonna happen all the way down to probably no way in hell will this ever happen, but it's not in the vault yet. First up, this is filmed. It's already had its
If it doesn't
first
happen,
draft.
I'll be very confused.
Its first draft is already done. It's called These Movies Don't Work Like They Used To. It's the documentary for Daniel Strauss.
Okay, that one's like there basically.
Yeah, Keith has done the first cut. I've already watched it, gave my notes. It is like what, 2 hours?
It's 2.5 hours long.
We have a lot. Everyone's got a lot to say about because Damage Control 3, like even though it got done, there was more drama.
We'll cover it. Don't worry. It's 2.5 hours.
So
yeah, you'll get it in 2.5 hours.
Next item.
But that will happen. That will be released. We do also plan on making many more Slaughter Lips.
Those are just stupid jokes, so one of us makes it goes too far.
They're about 11 pages long. They're short stuff. I'm just gonna show you. Some of these you guys probably don't know. These are all the ideas for Slaughter Lives that go beyond just a simple joke. These are none of these. Okay, so these are the full ideas. These are all stuff that these probably will be Slaughter Lives. All the other information I have is just jokes. But you said something about an Insane Clown Posse song To Catch a Predator.
Yeah.
Just make a adaptation of that with a music video.
Yeah, that's just where like Slaughter.
I don't know that song.
Speaking of music videos, I think we should do one about the Psycho Killer song.
With Slaughter.
Because that's my favorite
that is.
song in that genre.
Alright, so there
Just read
was
these off, I guess.
Slaughter finds a Ouija board and it introduces supernatural elements to the franchise where Slaughter's mask is altered and morphs into his own skin. That's an excuse to get Slaughter a new mask that looks similar because that one is falling apart.
Next one.
Slaughter is chasing victims and then runs into other victims being chased down by a female clown. They fall in love and kill everyone together. Slaughter severs the ring finger of a victim who is married and gives it to the female clown.
I'm just picturing them like holding each other with knives spinning around. Blood's going everywhere.
Slaughter goes home for Thanksgiving with his clown girlfriend.
It's progressing.
And they eat a human instead of a turkey. It's like his whole family is clowns. And then they have a very intense game of after dinner football. Where
Can I be like the clown uncle?
Sure, why not?
Oh god, this is...
Slaughter finds the Killer Clown Clan. It's the KKK. So the whole short is a bunch of other masked clown killers are killing people in the woods. And then Slaughter bursts out of nowhere and tackles one of them at the end before they're about to kill a victim. But before Slaughter can kill that person, he finds out that the clowns say that they are searching for him because he is the new chosen one. And Slaughter thinks he's not ready for all this responsibility. Now, quick backstory in this one. In Dantrell Street, there's a throwaway line where the chosen one says she'll get her other followers to help her on something. These are the other followers. Needing someone to follow.
Army of clowns?
Yeah, needing someone to follow, so they're like, alright, we're going to follow the only person we can find is Slaughter, because he's been making headway because he's killing more people. That's when, and then they put on masks to mimic Slaughter. He has his own clown army. It's pretty much
that is so metal.
Slaughter and his minions reenact the Ewok killing stormtroopers from Return of the Jedi with spears and rocks. Slaughter goes trick-or-treating. This one probably will happen. Dead people are strewn about in the front yard and it looks like Halloween decorations. Kids come up, ring the doorbell, and a blood-covered Slaughter answers it. And there's dead bodies inside, too. Slaughter gives him candy, but then he looks at this little girl wearing a princess costume and goes, I really like that costume you got there. And then it cuts to Slaughter going to another house trick-or-treating, wearing a suit, but then the princess outfit over it. We got Slaughter reads Christmas tales, but warped versions where he's killing people instead. It's just fairy tales, Christmas tales, stuff like that. And we also have Slaughter versus the welder from Retribution will happen eventually.
It's basically our Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah. So
which is actually really fitting because he's a lot like Freddy.
Yeah, and he's a lot like the Sly and Jason.
Wait, what about Slaughter kills the Mayhem?
Oh yeah, universe? The last one we want to do is Slaughter killing the Mr. Mayhem movie universe, where he goes back to every single thing we've ever made and kills everyone. So we're gonna have everyone reprise their parts, dressed in their original outfits, looking like 40 years old, or who knows when we'll do this. And it'll be called Slaughter Dies. Slaughter kills the Mr. Mayhem.
And another side project is I can make a Slaughter edition of everything with green screen, where you just green screen Slaughter into previous movies.
He'll be in the Rippin' trailers. The only thing in the Rippin' trailers.
In Snuff Said party scene, you'll just see like Slaughter in the background. Like,
you know what I mean? Like Snuff Said Slaughter edition.
It's something we could do. Those are all the things that 100% will happen because we're going to film it. Now this one, now it's going to be less likely. D's and A's, who made the hit song "Time to Get Freaky."
Unfortunately, we don't know half the band.
Yeah, we don't know who's in D's and A's, but they do have a song planning to come out called "Carol of the Balls," which is Carol of the Bells, but about balls.
Yeah, it's exciting. I haven't worked with them personally, but I've seen some of their earlier stuff.
Great work. Catnip, underground classic. But Carol of the Balls is happening.
D's nuts, D's nuts, D's nuts, D's nuts.
Amid Slaughter's night dream. Keith, would you like to explain this?
I can't. Can you remind me?
Jerry the Down syndrome skeleton. That's what.
Oh yes. So it's essentially a green screen extended test where we have a new character named Jerry. He's a skeleton.
The mask.
His name is JDS. You don't know what that stands for though. So, but he basically is going to be green screened into previous films, but Slaughter is dreaming about it. So every night Slaughter goes to bed. He dreams about this crazy skeleton man in like
invading
old
the movies,
and then he progressively tries to like communicate with and then like kill Jerry.
So Slaughter kind of is like the Crypt Keeper. He bookends the segment.
That's something I've always wanted to do. Like make a
so there'll be a little Slaughter. There'll be a little gag at the beginning that's Slaughter, and then you'll go into the short.
Yeah.
And then I have an ending, but I'm not gonna give it away.
Yeah. So then we would pretty much make it for all the videos we made, but with Jerry showing up and the different things. Yeah. It's pretty much just us testing the green screen out. Next up, I put this down here because it's going to be a while from now, but this to me will happen. Damage Control 4, 2027. It will be filming. Probably be called Inferno. We do not know what it's going to be about.
I prefer we don't write it until at least like 2025.
Yeah, I don't know what it's going to be about, but it's going just to be about Inferno. It's not going to be about Slaughter, Chosen One, or Skullface. They're dead.
Because James has been very adamant he doesn't want to do movies, and we somehow convinced him to do like a few of these, like the Doctor Who one. But he's not too enthusiastic about being in it, because those are our Damage Controls are the more stressful movies we've done, just all around. And I know he's had enough, but we got him to say, "Oh, in 10 years we can make a new one," and I don't think he's gonna think we're gonna hold him to that.
We will. Inferno. It will probably be called Inferno, and it will happen. And I think it'll be awesome. I want to make a huge, definitely feature lengths. Very bloody, very gory, very gritty. Serious too. I don't want it to be like a comedy, a horror comedy. So it will happen, but you gotta wait.
You gotta look at it. It's along the lines of like these reboots and stuff. Like look at like Victor Crowley to like the Hatchet series.
Picture it's like a Damage Control trilogy is the 80s trilogy, basically an 80s slasher trilogy. This is like the modern reboot.
Yeah, it's a reboot, so it's in the same universe and all this stuff. Yeah. But like we're gonna change up how he looks a little bit and stuff.
We also want to make, when they come out with a new Indiana Jones, we want to make an Alaskan Ed parodying that movie. And it's going to be called Alaskan Ed and the Quest for El Dorito. It's going to be a fake trailer as well, but it's going to be parodying whatever the new Indiana Jones is. We can't make that until there's a new Indiana Jones.
Which I'm not sure Harrison Ford will still be kicking, but they might have to digitally recreate him.
They're filming it, but I thought it was supposed to come out in 19, but I think it's
not coming out in 19 now.
It got pushed to 20, I'm pretty sure.
So if it does happen,
we'll see if it's...
You'll get an Alaskan Ed. If not,
it should have been filmed mostly, so I don't know.
We'll see what ends up happening. Hiroshima, which we think was a great short film. It was filmed in a day, and it was so much fun to film. Everyone enjoyed working on it, and it looks good. It was a lot of fun work. We want to make sequels to it. Sequels would be Hiroshima 2, Toki Ono, Hiroshima 3, Nagasaki in the Face, and Hiroshima 4, Hero See You Later. And we'd probably stop there, I don't know. But it would just be a quadrilogy of Hiroshima.
That's a movie that if we didn't have Soren playing. Yeah. And this is a movie that Soren wanted to do. This isn't us being like, oh, we want to make a weird kind of offense. It's not supposed to be offensive, but there's play on words to that stuff. But like Soren really wanted to be his whole thing is like, I want to be a superhero called Hiroshima.
Yep.
And
he's the one who asked me to write this story for me.
Oh yeah, like Chopstick, that's all him.
Yeah.
Like
so it's not us just trying to be offensive, but I think it's great.
So if you have a problem, talk to Soren.
All I can tell you about plot-wise is that at the end of the first one, we introduced Dr. Jew is back. We're talking about Conundrumo, which some of you don't know about yet. So Earl Harbor and Conundrumo.
Is Dr. Jew in it?
Dr. Jew is like the Thanos character.
Thanos of it.
So Dr. Jew probably won't fight him until the fourth one. But it would probably be like Conundrumo and Earl Harbor just building up on this.
Dr. Jew win at the end of the third one?
Because why not?
Because Infinity War.
We'd probably stop at 4, but I would like to film a Hiroshima every year. I think it would be a lot of fun. After that, we made one episode of Dust Zone, which was really just taking the true self and
we wanted to salvage the true. I didn't think it was salvageable.
You're welcome.
Keith proved that it was salvageable.
It's still pretty bad
because
but it's
not much.
We only polish shit so much.
Not much was shot with it. I mean, in regard to his story, so like Keith really had to work some magic to get it to make a little bit of sense.
This doesn't make much sense. He gave me all the footage for the chase scene, and he said, I won't explain it here because it's in the script, and there was no script.
There was no script.
I just had a chunk of chase scene. I had to decide how I wanted to make it happen.
It made no sense. It was awful. But we made it so we could make more Dust Zone, which is a Twilight Zone ripoff. With the Dust Zone, we wanted to then recycle the Dimension of the Impossible skit and bring back Eric Queerheim from the Dr. Maurice Tinklebottom interviews as the main character.
See, I want to use him in Dimension of the Impossible.
The way we would make these,
he could be the dude who like in the Night Gallery. There's like the dude.
Yeah. See, with
that could be
an Eric Queerheim,
I wanted him to be a journalist in an intervention of the impossible.
The glorious thing about all this is since they're discrete episodes, you can reuse actors.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter. What's also great is the goal would be, I don't even know if we'd make a script, we'd just make an outline. And we'd film it in a day, whatever we film, we have to edit it together into something. So it would look bad, but on purpose. True Self wasn't made bad on purpose. We would make ours bad on purpose, but like put like conditions on our filming to cause it to be bad.
Yeah.
I think it would be entertaining. We also want to make Dust Zone the Y-Files instead of the X-Files. I don't know what it'd be about, it was just a name thrown out, but I want to make more Dust Zone.
I think it's desperately about people not wanting to believe.
Yeah.
I don't want to believe.
But
the aliens won't stop. I don't want to believe.
After that, I want to make a sort of continuation of the Zero's Doctor.
Negative first Doctor.
The problem
that was an idea we talked about before, but what I want to make is
half Doctor.
The Doctor Who had mini reunion specials, like the Street Doctors, the Five Doctors, the Name of the Doctors, when they bring back old actors. I want to make something called just a Zero's Doctor reunion special. It would be everyone would be dressed up as a different Doctor getting together to fight like the Daleks or something. So it would be like a couple minutes talking about that. And it would be playing off like a normal one. So pretty much it would be fun. All of us get dressed up as a different Doctor.
Yeah.
Then the Zero's Doctor shows up and is all pissed off and drunk that they didn't invite him to the reunion special. And he just ruins
like that
it.
Rick and Morty.
Yeah, he would just ruin it for everyone.
They're our most controversial movie ever.
It would be a lot of fun. Keith and I have talked about making continuations of The Day After Tomorrow.
Oh wait, I'm thinking of it later.
Called The Day Before Tomorrow and The Day of Tomorrow.
Of Tomorrow.
There would be 2 prequels. They would be short films, not
2 hours and 20 minutes.
One of them would be about what happens during the outbreak, like while like people are starting to die of this disease, and it's kind of like that's when they figure out, oh my God, gnomes.
Actually, I think they would tease that right at the end.
Okay, and then the other one would be pretty much there would still be more people alive, but it's after like
it's like the immediate. So in the first one, it's the disease spreading and shit's getting bad, and then right at the end, you see the gnomes, and the second one's all about like the gnomes, but like when people are still alive and the gnomes haven't wiped everyone out yet.
And the reason I want to make this is we wanted to make the Trojan gnome, where someone tries to conquer the gnome by making a big gnome and living and going inside of it and getting into the gardens. But it would go terrible. Now we also mentioned like my character from The Day After Tomorrow being in that one, and it would be how he's running away, being chased by gnomes.
Yeah, and then he dies, and then
maybe one day. Lovecraftian tales. Love H.P. Lovecraft short stories because they're all in the public domain because he's old enough. What I was also going to buy this collection that has every single short story he had. It's like that thick. What I want to do is make direct adaptations of all not start at the beginning of a short story. This is something I want to do when I'm older. Like this is like when we're done making our silly stuff. It would be. I think it would be fun.
Serious?
Yeah. It would be fun where it would be bookended by someone as H.P. Lovecraft, like opening up the book and talking about it briefly. And then it would be us, I will write scripts that directly adapt these things. And it would just be interesting to see what our spin on these stories would be and how we would make it on a small budget. I think that would be part of the appeal. I just got really obsessed with Lovecraft all of a sudden, so that's kind of why I wanted to do it. But I think it would be a lot of fun. We can reuse actors. We just need one person to play Lovecraft. And it would be entertaining, to say the least. I'll start making the script soon. Once I start reading the book, I'll get 1 and 2 in, and then we'll see if this can be something that can happen.
We're gonna do Sleepaway Camp's my favorite horror series. So one day we're gonna make our own Sleepaway Camp sequel, and we have a name. It's called The Sun Returns to Sleepaway Camp 6: Unhappy Teenage Wasteland Survivor.
Because Sun and Sleepaway Camp just blatantly stole everything from Sleepaway Camp and has nothing to do with it.
It literally uses the Sleepaway Camp, the final shot of the first movie is the final shot of Son of Sleepaway Camp. They just ripped it straight from the movie, and they used the song the Sleepaway Camp rock and roll song. So I want to combine all the titles and make a new Sleepaway Camp.
Well, I think we talked about was James would play.
Yeah.
It would be
just James playing James.
I think he would be like a counselor, but he would be having like a caveman outfit, kind of like the original.
And he's just hanging out. A girl just starts killing people, and we're watching it from his point of view, and he's like, he keeps getting blamed for it because he's in the caveman.
You think like, maybe he's Angela Baker as like James is.
And then it turns out it's her, and then I don't know how it ends.
I don't know. It might happen. It might not. There was a Vincent Price movie called Shock. That was awful. Keith and I watched it. There was a plot point in it where Vincent Price kills someone by beating him down with a candlestick.
That's how he kills his wife, isn't it?
And we were thinking every time someone's about to figure out,
because in the movie people keep figuring out he did it.
So when people figure out he's doing it, he just kills him with a candlestick every time. It'd be like a short film remake.
And I like to think by the end of it, he kills everyone, and he's like, no one knows I did it. And he's like, wait, I did it. And then he beats himself over the head.
I think the movie's in public domain because we got it on a cheapo DVD card.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's public domain.
It'd be fun. Those are all the ideas we have for Vault of Mayhem. We have for future Mr. Mayhem movies. This is also to talk about all of our movies in the vault that will never happen. Maybe those ideas will be recycled later on, but as of right now, they are dead and locked away.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Oh jeez! Oh Jesus! Oh Jesus! Oh! Did you want me to take a picture? I'm taking a video.
Oh, God. I'm Jay. It's my hetero life mate, Silent Bob.
I am accidentally recording this. Hey James. That's James. He likes penis.
He has a t-shirt on.
He likes Mary.
Don't do drugs.
Right here. Hey Mary, this guy likes you right there. See, he thought he was gonna kiss you.
This is a contradiction right